something that I'm also working on, working hard as well, because it's a lifelong lesson, trying to, stick to academic rigor.
Academic rigor it is. Okay. Which industry will be most transformed by AI in the upcoming 5 years? We're here at the FICC 2025, live from Berlin. I'm here with Xishen Wang. Hi Xishen, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well.
Tell me a bit about your academic journey.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Shisen. I'm a third-year engineering student at the University of Oxford. I submitted a paper at FICC, and I'm very glad that I'm now in Berlin joining the conference. The paper is roughly about using LLM agents to basically automate machine learning, which is actually a large focus of my sort of previous endeavors, where I was working in Microsoft Research Asia for RD agents, which is also sort of trying to use multi-agentic frameworks to automate research and data science. I've also done a couple of similar things in a variety of places, but my sort of focus is on how to, explore the boundary of systems intelligence and multi-agent frameworks.
Okay, tell me about the paper.
Great. Essentially, what I observe is that right now, especially after the burst of, GPT 3.5, we see that the AI market is boosting, right? And then there's so much changes in the productivity market and everything. But the problem is, from what I realize, there are still many people who don't enjoy the same benefit as people who are in the industry, like us. In a way that what we know is that even in markets of great productivity, say like EU markets, only around 24% of business leaders say that they are great at data, say that they're data literate, not to mention that they're good at machine learning models. But from what we know, right, training a machine learning model is not that hard anymore. But that does not match the current status quo of me as a business owner. It's still very hard for me to train a machine learning model by myself. And that sort of constitutes the whole problem of how do we actually bridge the gap between, this side of good AI market and this side of people who don't enjoy the benefits. And the core methodology that we use is something we coin the term of a text-to-model approach. In a way that if people just express their demand vaguely, saying that, okay, I want to predict something, and then give us the data, we have the whole entire pipeline of variety of agents, starting from data handling to doing data exploratory analysis, to actually then investigate the model's architecture, build the model, train the model, write the inference code, and then interpret the model, visualize the results, and then tell you exactly how do you use the model and everything from the report to the code, all by just one, basically one text demand and then one as file of data. So this is essentially the methodology that we're presenting here.
Okay, so you've wrote a paper. Have you tested it out as well?
Yes, we did. So we've done some good case studies, but apart from that, we also tested 10 lightweight data sets ranging from car retail sales to predicting students' performance rate, etc. That's because the sort of idea that we are giving is that we are not sort of limiting to the high-end sort of things, that we are that focused on how do we build a fancy model architecture. No, instead what we are focusing where we are focused at is basically that we have a variety of data applications, so that it is representative of the current society of from the day-to-day life. And then what we show is that the model would actually have an average of an MSE, which is basically the error rate of less than a quarter, which means that say if I have data, right, I have thousands of rows of predicting the price of a car, and then with what we call as the agent for machine learning, A for ML, now you will have a model that will predict the price of a car within an error rate of 1/4. I know that this is not that good for industries of high accuracy expectations, but it's definitely a good starting point and shows a lot of potential, because there could be optimizations on the architecture and everything.
Is there room for improvement?
Definitely, right? So I would say that it mainly comes down to 2 points. One is on stability and hallucination related problems, and that is because what we see now is that although AI agents, they are smart, they also lie a lot in a way that they are smart in a not usual way. So let me just give you an example. There's just one time when the agent needs to actually reevaluate its own model, because the model accuracy is not that high. Instead of just showing us the original model accuracy, what it does is that it actually fabricates another small testing result and then does evaluation on that result, so that the accuracy accuracy is much higher, which means that the AI model is actually now cheating on us. So I guess that's one definitely concern on the stability and hallucination problems, which is also why which is also part of the things I'm working now on hallucination mitigation and hallucination reduction. And the second thing is definitely on how to tackle more complicated problems, so that it needs more dependencies, it runs on GPUs and etc. And that involves like a more, like a more complicated architecture. And also, it also relies on, the improvements of the performances of the fundamental models as well.
Okay. And how long will it be for, say, a small business owner can actually use this model?
Well, I would say that it really depends on which sort of industry you are in, because different industries have different tolerance on the accuracy. Okay. And I would say that it shouldn't be too far. I would say that within 1 or 2 years, with people, I guess not only in the research side of things, but also in the industry, with people now working on this, trying to make it better, trying to reduce hallucination problems, it should be much more accessible within the time frame of like 1 or 2 years.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Now you've been here at the conference. How has it been so far?
How it's been so far? I guess 2 points. First is that this is my very first time to come to Berlin in Germany, and especially with the boat trip yesterday, with the river cruise and everything.
Yeah.
I guess it has been great to explore the vibes and culture here. But the second thing is also that I've met with so many great minds. I've listened to and also reached out to the keynote speakers yesterday. And secondly, apart from the culture and Berlin and Germany itself, the people that I met in the conference are absolutely brilliant. In a way that I reached out to the keynote speaker yesterday, telling us about emotional intelligence AI, and I really liked about it. Apart from that, I was also meeting with, people from like diverse areas of the world. I met with people from Switzerland, I met with people from UK as me, but also there are like people from Germany, people from the United States, and etc. And I see that people from the world are like tackling AI in their different perspectives, and it has been such a great opportunity to actually not only present what I'm doing, but also get to understand what others are doing, so that the communications are really meaningful in terms of like, okay, what should be the next area of interest, what should be the next focus, what are the directions that people are focusing on right now. So basically,
that's what a conference should be about.
Definitely.
I'll finish this talk with a couple of rapid fire questions.
Sure.
What's an important skill for a researcher to have?
Important skill. I would say that nowadays, especially under this AI age, there are changes in the skill sets required for researchers. And in particular, I would say that one thing that's really important right now is how to stick to academic rigor. By saying sticking to academic rigor, what I mean is that a lot of times when we do research, we are building on the existing landscape, right? So we understand what others are doing right now, and then we build like a tiny thing out of things, so that we bridge like one small gap. And I guess especially right now, when information, when I guess it's very easy to generate things, right?
Yeah.
AI could generate things is very easily, and then we are sort of overwhelmed by information right now. So I would say, like, as researchers, because we are trained to actually tackle things more rigorously, it's important for us to understand what are the limitations, how to do things that could be tested, and how to do things that could be replicated, and etc. So I would say that having an idea of what to research on and having an innovation mindset is definitely important. But on the other side, I guess less people are talking about how we should still stick to the rigor, especially when now generations become so easy. I guess this is also something that I'm also working on. Working hard as well, because it's a lifelong lesson, trying to stick to academic rigor.
Academic rigor it is. Okay. Which industry will be most transformed by AI in the upcoming 5 years?
I would say that different person have different ideas on this, but my take would be on the productivity market. And by saying the productivity market, what I mean is that imagine right now we have emails, we have calendars, we have to-dos, a variety of things.
Plenty of those.
Exactly, right. So we communicate with each others in workspace and etc. But although there is ChatGPT, all of these things that I was mentioning, right, they are still largely not touched in a way that they are still not really optimized. When we receive 200 emails, right, you don't have like one-click thing for an AI analyst to just sort things out for you and then even help you reply. This is actually something that I'm working on right now as well. I have a startup called Pause, in a way that we're building a general personal executive assistant, trying to actually automate tasks and do things for them.
But personal AI.
Exactly. Because what I think is that everyone deserves an AI secretary in this age, and that's a huge productivity boosting.
Okay. What do you think? Artificial intelligence or human intelligence?
In what context are we talking about them here?
Up to you.
artificial intelligence versus human intelligence. I would say that as someone, right, who was like just learning about artificial intelligence in around 2019 when I was in a competition, and then we were just basically talking about how to use convolutional neural networks. CNNs are very, very popular right now, but it's actually very popular back then as well. Trying to see how we can like detect lost children from public cameras. I would say that the idea of artificial intelligence is less about, I guess, replacing human intelligence, but actually how to co-evolve with human intelligence. And yeah, exactly. So like that's the term that I'm putting in here in a way that it is definitely amazing, right? To actually see basically machines learn by itself. But with that, I guess for us humans, as we live, in a society, we connect with people. I guess the next biggest lesson would be how do we co-evolve with artificial intelligence. So it's less for me about how to distinguish from one another, but more about what will be the next paradigm of interactions.
Okay. Is there a book or a resource you'd recommend for people who are interested in your field?
Book or research that I recommend. I would say that there might be two things really. One thing could be the RD agent paper. I mean, it's actually not really a paper, but it's like a project of basically having two agents, one for research and one for development, done in molecular research. Because I was initially involved with it, and I could see the impacts of it. Also having this ideology of like replacing or like automating data science tasks, and I think that is important. But beyond that, I guess especially in the multi-agent field, it's actually less about books, but more about actually seeing the updates from the industry and also from the academy definitely as well. So it's, I guess, good to actually sometimes hearing about some important broadcast and also
kept up to date.
Exactly, and also like even Twitters, because sometimes a lot of important updates come from them, and etc.
Okay, Zhishan, thank you so much for your time and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you so much.
We're here at the FICC 2025 in Berlin, Germany. And I'm here with Donglin Yu. Donglin, can you tell us a bit about your academic research?
I started my master in Germany, TU Kaiserslautern, and mainly in scientific computing, and where I learned a lot of mathematical skills and like numerical methods. And then I moved to Sweden, Lund University, Department of Mathematics, and main research is about artificial intelligence, machine learning method for solving mathematical equations, and reversely using some mathematical principles for building more reliable and robust machine learning models.
Okay. Well, you're here to present a paper as well. What's that about?
The paper I will present today is mainly about fingerprint synthesis.
Oh, really?
To generate some realistic, high-quality fingerprint patches.
Why is that important?
I would say nowadays using some biometric authentication, like using fingerprint to unlocking phone, it will be
I do that
part.
all the time.
Yes, it has been part of everyday life. So like fairness and robustness and reliable biometric system is quite important. But I would say it's quite expensive for company who build this biometric system. It's quite expensive to collect these data.
Okay.
And this data is very important for training and testing this system. So collect this data is not just expensive, but it's also time consuming, and it also comes with some privacy concernings.
I can imagine. So how will your research help with that?
We built the model. Our research is mainly about building some using generative models to generate synthesis fingerprint. So in that case, we don't need take time to collect data and So in this way also we avoid
Yeah.
the regulations in privacy concerns. Yeah.
Makes sense. Did anything come up during your research which you completely didn't expect to have happened?
I would say one of the key point that I didn't expect is from when we try to generate some spoof fingerprint,
Yeah.
because spoof fingerprint is made by material. Try to using this spoof fingerprint to fool the system.
Yeah.
So these data are more difficult to collect because we need main material first and then to make it. Yeah. At first we thought because the data set is not large, maybe the algorithm doesn't work. But after but it actually the model can really get a key point like the reach of the fingerprint. Yeah. It getting really well, and because of that, maybe our next step for our research will be using such model to generate some very rare images like wet in different conditions, like a wet fingerprint in cold condition, or maybe some damaged fingerprint. Yeah, these are kind of rare in real life. Yeah.
And how long do you think till we see a real life application of this?
This is already ongoing. This project is collaborate with Biometric, a company in Lund, Sweden.
Okay.
Yeah, in their product, it's already there.
It's already being used.
Yeah,
that's
already
awesome.
being used, but for the train and test for the system, for the biometric system, and not directly.
Makes sense, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
yes.
that's awesome.
Yes.
About the conference, how has it been so far?
Yeah, I would say it's great. It's organized very well, and the food is amazing. Yeah,
that is important, right?
Yeah,
Let's be honest.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I'm just going to ask you some quick fire questions, if that's okay?
Yeah.
So, what's an important skill for a researcher to have?
I would say the first thing I would say curiosity.
Curiosity?
Yeah, and the second thing, never give up. Yeah.
Never give up.
Yes,
So,
yes.
endurance.
Yes, yes.
Excellent. Which industry will be most transformed by AI in the next 5 years?
That's a big question.
But I would like a short answer if you can.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think it will replace a lot of human work. That like our work, the generated image, you can't recognize it just from human eye. It's real or generated.
Sure.
You can't. Yeah, so that would be a huge change for the future when we development the system that will accelerate the product really fast, like maybe several times, maybe 10 times than before. Yeah.
Makes sense. Which one do you choose, AI or human intelligence?
Maybe AI.
Excellent. AI consciousness, is it possible or impossible?
Consciousness?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's possible. Yeah, but
Okay.
I am not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's a big research motivation for you?
Yes. Motivation for me,
Yeah.
I think the curiosity, like I said.
Curiosity.
Yeah. That's
Makes
the main.
sense. Is there a book or a resource you'd recommend for anybody interested in your field?
My main field actually is related to, like I said, my master is numerical method. So
Anything you'd recommend on that topic?
yeah, so I would say linear algebra, introduction to linear algebra.
Introduction, okay. And is there any good advice you've ever had which you'd like to share?
Keep searching. Yeah,
Never give up?
Yeah, never give up. Just because for my first year of my PhD, I really think I will fail my PhD because no results get for the whole year. But after 1.5 year, then I found something,
that's
and
awesome.
then so it's like how to say enlightenment at some point. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Lonely, thank you so much for your time and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Yeah. Thank you as well.
I'm here with Andrea Cioncolini. Andrea, welcome.
Thank you.
You're a PhD student.
Yeah, I'm a PhD student.
What are you studying?
I'm studying, I'm part from the Department of Information Engineering at the University of Florence.
Yeah.
And I'm studying in the radar field. We are working on US-born radar to perform SAR or interferometric measurements.
Okay.
This is our goals, our
Excellent.
field.
Now you're here to present a paper as well. What is it
Yeah.
about?
Okay, one of the problem when we have to use drones to perform this kind of measurement is the signal to noise ratio. We have to improve as much as possible this feature of the radar, and in this paper, in this presentation, I shown how to increase the signal to noise ratio and the behavior behind the number of active element of the antenna of the MIMO.
How do you do that? How do you improve that?
How I don't improve. I study also the theoretical analysis behind this radar.
Yep.
And after that, we experiment these results in a controlled scenario
Yep.
to confirm the theory. And this is how the goals
Did
of
it
this
work?
paper.
Yeah.
Did it work?
Was
Yeah,
it
yeah.
confirmed? Okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Okay. So how will your research have any practical implication? How will it change things?
Okay, using radar on the drones could be used in some application, like such as airports, because with the radar we can see the fault debris that can accumulate on the runway, and it's helpful for improve our safety during the takeoff or the landing of the plane.
Yep.
Or the airplane. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a little known fact about your research that other people might find hard to believe?
Probably people don't know that the research could improve our safety in our such as in the airport, or we can use also these technologies for monitoring our environment, such as breach, structures breach, but also landslides.
Yeah.
And it could be helpful for our safety. And this is important in the future.
So you've made the theory, but how long till it can be used like that?
The theory that I presented today, it was only for the signal to noise ratio, but we are studying also the other problem in this field, like positioning of the positioning of the drones during the flight,
Yep.
and we are studying also this problem.
Okay. When will you see any new results?
When?
Yeah.
Okay. Probably in the next future, because we are studying the. We are developed this system.
Yeah.
And we are almost concluded the developing, but we are starting with the measurements, and we hope that it works. That in the future.
Makes perfect sense. Have you been enjoying the conference?
Yeah. This is my first time.
Really?
Yeah. But I enjoyed the presentation, and stay here with some people interested in this field, in the communication, in the information for the future.
I'm just going to ask you some rapid-fire, quick questions. Hopefully you can give me a short answer. What's an important skill for a researcher to have?
The curiosity, probably.
Yeah.
The interesting in the field that you are studying. This is the main important topic because
Makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
Which industry will be most impacted by AI in the next 5 years?
A good question. I don't know, probably because I'm not so expert in this field, but I think that can be improve our research, how we can work in this field.
Okay. AI or human intelligence?
Human intelligence.
Okay. AI conscience, is it possible?
Yes, I think. But
Okay.
yeah, probably.
What's a big research motivation for you?
For me, it's important for our that the research could be useful for our society, because if it help us for the safety, for example, is important.
So it should be applicable somewhere.
Applicable, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So as a researcher, is there any advice you've ever had which would be good to share here?
Have a curiosity, also in this field, because in the information, because it's quite important for the future.
Okay. Is there a book or a different resource you would recommend for people who are interested in your field of work?
I don't know, because it's quite sectoral in our field, and I don't have any specific book or.
They should just read your research.
Yeah.
Andrea, thanks so much and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you so much for this interview.
I'm here with Jannica Leoste. Jannica, can you tell me a bit about yourself?
Thank you. It's great to be here because I'm not a typical researcher. Rather, I've been in industry and I have just joined the academia 7 years ago, and now I feel how my interdisciplinary research can contribute to the whole body of the research.
Okay, well, tell us about your research.
Yeah, okay. I'm here to tell about how to write academic papers by using generative AI, but usually I'm worried about non-verbal behavior and human-robot interaction of social service robots, robot assistants, and telepresence robots, and I also do IT didactics. So as we say in Estonia, how to support students not to go to the industry and get paid higher and just finish their course.
Okay, so let's go into the paper, because you are presenting a paper. What is it about?
The paper is how to use Socratic dialogue, how to write academic papers with the help of generative AI. And when I wrote this paper, approximately 1 year from now, I was thinking it's a good joke.
Okay.
But unfortunately, as a reality, too many researchers in different fields don't think that it's a joke, and they try to do it, and they don't understand that the AI is just an extension of your brain, in a sense, to put or force you to work more effectively, but you can't know what you don't know.
Okay, so there's a lot of rubbish coming out, is that it?
You told it. You said it.
Okay. So during your research, were there any interesting things you found?
Actually, my paper is more like concept paper, but I can tell what I have found out while encouraging my students use generative AI, or while being a reviewer of papers written by AI.
Yeah.
So the first rule, as I told, is that you can speed up your thinking processes, but as you can't validate the data that comes from generative AI, you shouldn't use it.
Okay.
And also, it's like a small baby right now. So basically, whatever it tells, you should check it. And it's currently, how to say, it doesn't behave well. It tries every way to cheat on you.
Okay, so
But
it can help
bad
you speed
on the
up.
nature, yeah.
It can help you speed up, but you have to check everything it does. Is that
Yeah,
the conclusion?
and in the end of the day, you would feel that if I wouldn't use it, I would done my work 3 times quicker.
So in the end, it's not helpful at all.
It's helpful in a sense, as it is written in my paper, that you can have this Socratic dialogue, because if you know something as a professor or researcher, you don't think what are the questions behind of your knowledge. And generative AI requires you to think through, if I know something, how I would pose a question about it. And it's really useful for students.
Yeah, makes sense. So do you think the AI will improve in the coming 5 to 10 years, where this will be possible to be used for research papers?
I would say that maybe there will be specific type of research papers that would disappear. For example, literature review, because if generative AI can you generate state-of-art literature review in 7, 8 minutes, what's the point of writing papers about that?
That makes sense.
On the other hand, I would say that the generative AI is here to help not native speakers to write nice papers in English, for example.
Okay, that can be helpful.
Yes, because the generative AI can retell, can improve your grammar, your fluency, and also the readability of paper. So it's here to stay, but it's not to write instead of you.
Okay, so it's not the right answer for every question, but can be helpful.
Yeah, it's kind of a tool, and as my main research is embed this generative AI and intelligence into the robot assistant, becoming teaching assistants of professors. So I would understand that I'm really worried when I can let the robot go to the lesson instead of me and giving normal answers to my students.
Okay. Makes sense. How have you found the conference so far?
I would say that it's really interesting because in my IT department of this Taltech University, I'm kind of the only social research group.
Yeah.
And for me, it's still important to understand the interdisciplinarity. So I can't say that I go to all my colleagues' courses to learn deeper about machine learning or networks or communication. But while checking out these wonderful papers, I will learn myself. I have taken time
That's
for
awesome.
that. It's awesome. Yes.
Okay, a couple of rapid fire questions. What's an important skill for a researcher to have?
Importance of research at all.
No, what's an important skill to have as a researcher?
As a researcher, when we talk that we are a researcher in era of this generative AI and other supportive tools, I would say research ethics and research integrity.
Ethics and integrity.
Yes.
Awesome. Which industry will be most transformed by AI in the upcoming 5 years?
I would say this type of industry that produce something for healthcare and education, because especially in healthcare, as we have this aging population, we just don't have people to help people. So everything we produce, it has to be in accordance of what we can do right now, whether they are robots, whether they are algorithms, but we just don't have people.
So we just need to fill that up.
We just need to fill it up, and also industry has to collaborate now than even more with researchers, because yes, you can produce cool stuff,
Yeah.
but somebody has to show the evidence that the cool stuff is safe for people.
Makes sense. Artificial intelligence or human intelligence?
I would say that I like to think that human intelligence is still better, because I don't have to prompt myself. When I know something, then I just know, and I'm quicker.
Okay. AI consciousness, is it possible?
If it become possible, then we should give them AI rights like we have human rights. And from that on, they can have property, they can do everything. So then there's a question, where's the place for humanity?
Okay. What's a big motivation for you to do research?
It's so cool to do it.
Okay. Is there a book or a resource you'd recommend for people who are interested in your field?
I would say that these Springer collections are quite good to understand any topic you want to know interdisciplinary about social robotics or AI in robotics and so on, or also IT didactics. But I would suggest right now just to visit conferences, because waiting for the research paper coming out 1 year or even more, that's not sufficient. It's a light speed we are moving right now here in our research field. Just visit conferences like this one.
Excellent. And is there some good advice you ever received about doing research you would like to share?
My main supervisor, the professor from Austria, told me, Janika, even you think that you are even if you feel that you are like a researcher when you're a PhD student, please understand that while you are a PhD student, you are learning to become a researcher, and all cool research starts after you have graduated. So please continue, don't do other things, please graduate and start becoming a researcher.
Excellent. Janika, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We're here live at the FICC 2025, live from Berlin. I'm here with Dang Thoi Van. Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me for this dialogue.
Of course. Can you tell us a bit about your academic journey?
So I started my research during my graduate study. Since then, I keep working on this topic, acoustic recognition.
Okay. You wrote a paper as well.
Yes, certainly.
Tell me about it.
So the paper's main focus is on about how to reduce the computational complexity of the developed model. So as you know, many researchers just focusing on how to develop a very best model.
Of course.
So, but my way is in the opposite way. I develop the model that achieve a certain performance, but with very low computational complexity. You mean computing load.
Okay, and why is that important?
So it's very important now because if you develop a model, it's a best model require huge resources,
Yeah.
GPU, computing demand, and so on.
Power as well, yeah?
Yes, that's why I try to reduce the computational load, means simpler model but achieve a good results.
Was there at one point during your research something that happened that was really unexpected to you?
Yes, that's certainly unexpected thing always happen during doing the research. Not only me, but other people as well. Because many people will develop a method, a way that is somebody already developed somewhere else.
Okay.
So that's not really a disappointment in research, but a real challenge. That is the chance for researcher to improve that developed method better and further more efficiency.
And did you manage to do that?
Yes, we supposed to do that because we are not competing each other as a researcher, but we develop knowledge because of the humankind, you know.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. So what will your next research be about?
My next research will be focusing on more the application of my developed methods in many fields. For example, in medical, we can develop a model that very simple to diagnose the lung cancer by detecting the cough.
Okay. Wow.
We can apply in industry to diagnose the machine whether it's operating in normal condition or there is damage in the machine. So it's widely.
Wow. So that should lead to some good results, I suppose.
Yes.
Awesome.
I guess so.
Okay. How do you find the conference so far?
The conference is the very reputable conference. Is known for many researchers, and I see the people here, the researcher as well as the professor also come from US, many of them, and across Europe. I met Kira, a PhD student from University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. Is a top ranked university about computer science.
Yeah.
So it's well known. That's why I attended this conference to learn about the new topic and from my colleagues, from other researchers.
That's great. I'm just going to ask you some rapid fire questions. What's an important skill for a researcher to have?
Yes, the most important skill is critical thinking.
Yeah.
You have to think to not to understand the topic, but how to develop the knowledge in a effective way.
Yeah.
So that is the
Critical
top skill.
thinking.
Yep.
Yeah. Which industry will be most transformed by AI in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, industry, there are many business model as well as industry domain employ the AI already. For example, in the education, in robotics, but in the next 5 years, maybe in IoT, in industrial industry, or in medical, there's a huge
You're working on that
potential.
as well.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Artificial intelligence or human intelligence?
Both are same in my opinion because human intelligence develop artificial intelligence just belong to human being.
Okay. Is AI consciousness possible?
It's still a very big question mark for research community.
Yeah.
So I will not reveal this until now.
Fair enough. What's a big research motivation for you?
The big research motivation, so as many as researchers also have, is that the motivation to develop the knowledge, the foundation knowledge that revolutionize the industry, the business model, as well as have humankind develop further and live better. That's the motivation.
That's awesome. Is there a book or a resource you'd recommend for people who are interested in your field?
So in my field, there is certainly a number of research papers that you can look into. For example, the research about short-time Fourier transform, continuous Weyl transform, and incorporating with deep learning. So just the feature extractor itself does not have much, but with help of the deep learning and machine learning, it can develop the model and the method better as what I'm doing.
Okay. Is there some good advice you ever had as a researcher, which would be good to share here as well?
So, because I'm not really have so many experience in research, but I have some kind of advice that you should try yourself very hard, work very hard.
It's always
so
good advice.
90% is working hard, and 1% is about your how you smart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense to me. Working hard.
Yeah.
With that, thank you so much for your time and have a great rest of the conference.
Thank you for inviting to this dialogue. And my current research is that application in the industry, medical, that will have other developed countries such as Germany specifically, or Europe, or even US in competing with the other country who develop the artificial intelligence model that's cheaper.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the best reason of my study.
Sounds good. Good luck with that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And I'm still here at the FICC 2025 live from the city of Berlin. And I'm here with Sean Williams. Sean, welcome.
Great to be here.
How are you today?
Really well. Well, I landed from New York this morning, so I'm a little bit tired, but other than that, it's all good.
Okay. Well, let's start at the beginning. Can you tell me a bit about your academic journey?
Yeah, so I'm the founder and chief executive at a company called AutoGen AI. So we're using large language models to help people write bids, tenders and proposals more efficiently, quicker, and to win more. As part of that journey, we've had to do a great deal of work into things like the hallucination problem for large language models.
Yeah.
What is truth? We've had to look at quite a lot of the limitations of large language models. Where do they struggle with contextual reasoning? How do they sometimes not understand what humans really want them to do?
What did you find?
Well, that's exactly where our research came from. So my academic background, my degree's in philosophy, particularly philosophy of language and mathematical and logical reasoning. So it was actually I often joke that my degree was useless for 25 years, and then large language models came along, and it was perfect for this. So really, that intersection of the technical aspects of large language models, the linguistic aspects of large language models, and then really how we can apply them now to what I think is really fascinating is how what might have been seen as quite esoteric philosophical problems have suddenly become very practical issues in building software that deploys this technology.
Weird how that comes around. Now I'm wondering, you also wrote a paper and you presented it today. Can you tell me a bit about the paper itself?
Yeah, so the paper's called Easy Problems That Large Language Models Get Wrong. And really, we've been hearing...
It's a catchy title, right?
Well, we've been hearing a lot. I've been hearing a lot about artificial general intelligence and how the models were getting smarter and smarter. Well, how do you know the model's getting smarter and smarter? Well, they're scoring higher and higher on these benchmark tests. Okay, but that just means they're scoring higher and higher on the benchmark tests. It doesn't necessarily mean they're getting smarter unless those benchmark tests are a good proxy for intelligence. And there's all sorts of reasons to believe that those existing benchmarks are not good proxies for intelligence. And so we came up with our own benchmark, which basically showed 50 problems which were very easy for humans to get right.
Can you tell me one?
Basic. So you have 6 horses and want to race them to see which is the fastest. What's the best way to do this?
Hold a race, I suppose?
Yeah, hold a race. One
yeah.
race. Not 3 races. Don't split the horses into 3 groups of 2.
No,
and
just one race.
Just one race is super easy. Or
Did I pass?
You did. You passed.
Thankfully.
But unfortunately, even the best large language models still hallucinate a logical context to that, which
Really?
suggests that that you have to break them into groups, or so they give these very strange answers. So I'll give another example from a similar kind of space. You've got a 5-gallon jug, a 4-gallon jug, and a 10-gallon jug,
Yeah.
and you want to measure exactly 5 gallons. What's the best way of doing this?
Okay.
Again,
What does AI do?
Again, the AI will come up with some sort of weird way of using the jugs to come up with a mathematically correct answer. But of course, a human quite easily gets to, we'll just use the 5-gallon jug and measure it there. So we've actually also got a website which you can find and which we can no doubt link to, which allows you to take all 50 of the questions and then compare yourself to the latest large language models from Google, from OpenAI, from Cohere.
What's the
from
website,
Anthropic.
just for reference?
The website is www.llm-quiz.com.
Okay, people can go there if they want to test themselves against the AI.
They can go there, they can see the questions and test against them. And of course, what we've seen is the model's now getting smarter and they are able to pass the benchmark, more able to. So a human still gets about 85 to 90% of the questions right, and the best models are now getting 60 to 65. But that's twice as many. That's twice as many as they were getting when we wrote the paper. But of course, one of the reasons for that is, of course, all the model providers are now testing their models on our benchmark. So there's always this arms race of this. A lot of the model providers get significant levels of funding based on their performance against these benchmarks. So it's you have to keep coming up with novel questions, because really it's the novel questions that truly test these models' capabilities.
Because they don't have the predictability to do that.
Exactly right.
Is there anything you found you didn't expect at the start of the research?
Do you know, there were a whole host of questions that I thought the large language models would struggle with, which they don't. And actually, so let me give you an example which isn't in our paper, but I think is a show of how far the models have come in terms of reasoning. I like Dungeons and Dragons. In modern Dungeons and Dragons, you have something called rolling at disadvantage, which you will know. So if you roll 2 20-sided dice, you have to take the number on the lower of the 2 dice. And so I thought, well, actually, what then is the average roll on 2 20-sided dice at disadvantage? And I wasn't sure that a large language model would be able to reason to this, and actually they now very easily get to the answer 7.25 and can give you the right chain of reasoning to get there. There's a joke I like about a logic professor, which none of the early a year and a half ago, large language models didn't understand this joke at all when you asked them to explain it. So I'm not claiming it's massively funny. It's a sort of philosophical, kind of logic professor joke. So you've got a logic professor standing in front of their class, and they say, natural language is different to the way that sort of formal logic is interpreted. For example, in natural language, a double negative can either reinforce the negative or it can be a positive. So that's not the case, or that's not the case. In logic, of course, then the not, it would be 2 negatives would be a positive. He said, but of course, with positives, like in logic, they always reinforce. And somebody at the back of the class goes, yeah. So it would be if you asked large language models a year and a half ago why that joke was funny, it would give you an explanation, but the explanation would be totally rubbish.
Wrong.
Whereas actually now, so again, that surprises me that large language models have come on so much that they can really understand some of that nuance of language.
Okay. With that being said, and your paper being done now, what's the next thing you're working on?
So, look, we are unashamedly a commercial organisation, and James, my co-author, and myself, we're commercial beings. So we're really interested in where are the problems that have real-world pressing applications, and so that remains in contextual reasoning domains. So, how do you give large language models enough context so that they actually understand the problem? Because so much, it turns out, in philosophy of language, in kind of, actually, if you think about an intern into a business, that the reason the intern is not as good as someone who's been there for 10 years is not necessarily, often the case, not that they're any less smart than the person who's, in fact, they might be smarter than the person who's been there for 10 years, but they just
definitely.
know yes. They know less. You've got to give this a layer of context. So that's where we think there's a massive amount of work to be done in terms of giving large language models context in specific domains to allow them to better perform.
Okay. Now, I know you've only arrived this morning, but how's the conference been so far?
Fantastic. So really enjoyed it. So a really wonderful set of presentations. There was a talk just after hours on some of the philosophical implications of large language models, which I hadn't seen the paper before, but it was absolutely fascinating, and really people thinking about problems in a similar space to us. So it's always great to see what other people are doing there and learn from. So it's really fantastic.
Great to hear. I've got some rapid fire questions. I'm looking for a short answer, or maybe even one word.
Okay, well, I a bit like sort of 4.0, I find it quite hard to give short answers, but I will try.
We'll see. What's an important skill for a researcher to have?
Curiosity.
Which industry will be most transformed by AI in the upcoming 5 years?
All of them. Anything that involves reading and writing, which is a lot of industries.
Most, okay. Artificial intelligence or human intelligence?
Both.
AI consciousness, is it possible?
No.
What's a big research motivation for you?
Helping, so as I say, we're a commercial organisation supporting our customers to run better businesses and grow faster.
Okay. Is there a book or a resource you recommend for people interested in your field? Apart, of course, from the website we already mentioned.
Wittgenstein's Philosophical Investigations.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, what is that?
Wittgenstein, probably the most important philosopher of language of the 20th century. If you read what Wittgenstein said about context and about language games, it foreshadows really so much of what we're doing with large language models, and so much of the most interesting questions around what is truth, what does it mean to be linguistically correct. So when we look at things like benchmarks, what is it to do language well? These were problems that Wittgenstein was really fascinated by.
Okay. Is there any advice you ever had as a researcher which would be good to share with others as well?
Look, I already said I think the most important skill is curiosity. The second one might be tenacity, so keeping on going.
Okay, Sean, thank you so much for the time.
An absolute pleasure.
So we're here live from the FICC 2025, and I'm here with Nicholas Papadopoulos. Nicholas, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. Can you tell us a bit about your academic research, your journey to wherever you are now?
Absolutely. So I did my undergrad in Massachusetts, United States. Worked as a software engineer for a few years after that, doing some stuff in bioinformatics and high security transportation. I ended up taking an interest in quantum computing.
Okay.
And went into, was working also as a software engineer in a quantum computing startup. Just before going back to school to pursue a higher education degree in quantum computing. Okay. So that's what I've been doing for the last 4 years now.
Which brings us to your paper, because you have already presented. What was it about?
It's quantum cryptography.
Ooh.
So it's a big field. Quantum cryptography is one of the big applications of quantum. You know,
very worried about that, right?
Yes, it's expected to break a lot of our very standard cryptographic protocols. So there are, however, fortunately, some quantum cryptographic protocols that defend against any sort of any quantum attack or otherwise.
So in your paper, you talked about a way to have extra security.
Right. So there was one of the first ones was about sharing a secret key between two people, where they can then encrypt their messages and send it securely between each other. It didn't provide security against particular specific attacks where they might, say, have some information about some of the defenses against eavesdropping. So our paper highlights a protocol in which you can actually, it doesn't even matter if the adversary knows that information, we can even make it publicly available, and it'll still help detect if somebody's trying to steal or eavesdrop on your communication.
Using quantum computing?
Using quantum computing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And will this be used in real life, you think?
I would certainly think so, yeah. I mean, as quantum computers develop and become more advanced, we're going to need some higher security, and we'll likely be leveraging quantum properties in doing that.
Okay. And how far do you think this is away? I mean, will it take 5 years, 10 years, more?
Yeah, the big question, it's in my opinion, anyone's guess. It depends on what level. Some people have claimed already quantum supremacy, and it's debatable whether they've achieved any sort of quantum supremacy that's actually useful in any way. So the question then becomes, when are they going to have a useful problem that they can solve better than classical computers?
Yep.
Or when can they actually solve, like, say, break cryptography, which would be a huge problem.
Yeah.
So
it's still a bit of a weird field, to be honest, right?
yeah, it's still quite new, I would say. So in terms of guesses, I mean, let's say
Your best estimate.
my best estimate.
I won't hold you to it.
Nobody knows. I still expect it to be some time before they get to the level of actual, really breaking like current cryptographic standards.
Yeah.
I would guess at least 10 years. There's guesses all the way from, just a couple of years, 5 years, up to 20 years is some common guesses. And some people say that it'll just never happen anyways, so.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Is there a little known fact about your research that most people would find hard to believe?
It's little known outside of the community,
Yeah.
but the whole premise of the quantum properties, I would say, is pretty hard to believe. In fact, nobody really even knows how it works. So the properties of, say, entanglement, which Einstein famously called spooky action at a distance. Nobody really knows how this works, but luckily we're able to leverage it. But basically, two quantum particles entangled with each other are somehow affected. You can observe one light years and light years away from the other, and the other one will be affected in a correlated manner instantaneously. And no one really knows why, but pretty cool.
Weird, but
yeah.
that's what it is. Okay. Is there anything you will be working on from now on?
Anything I'll be working on from now on? I hope to continue doing quantum algorithms. Or quantum software engineering if that ever becomes available. Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. About the conference, how was your experience so far?
Conference has been great so far. Very well organized, super interesting talks. Everybody's got great papers. I had a great time.
We had a couple of keynotes as well. How were those?
Yeah, absolutely, they were great. I mean, super interesting topics, very well spoken and very well put together.
Awesome. Will you be joining us on a boat tour tonight?
I certainly will. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. I've got a couple of quick rapid fire questions, so just give me a brief answer, short sentence or one word, always fine. What's an important skill for a researcher to have?
Curiosity.
Which industry will be most impacted by AI in the upcoming 5 years?
Tech.
Yeah. AI or human intelligence?
What about them?
Which one do you prefer?
Which one do I prefer? Human intelligence. I mean, supplemented by AI.
Is AI consciousness possible?
I would say no. Not true consciousness, but maybe replicative.
Okay. What's a big research motivation for you?
Curiosity.
Yep. Is there a book or research you could recommend somebody who's interested in your field?
Well, Nielsen and Chuang is the big work. I still refer to it all the time. I think it's it's got all the good information in it, and it's good for however long you're working in the field. So,
during your research, did you receive any advice that would be good to share with other people as well?
Just to keep pursuing what you're interested in, and you'll have ups and downs as everyone does, but you stick with it, and you'll be able to make it.
Okay, Nicholas, thanks so much for your time, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you very much.
here at the FICC 2025 live from Berlin. And I'm here with Leonardo Vezzani. Leonardo, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I am fine, I'm enjoying this. Can you tell us a bit about your academic background? Where did you start?
Well, my academic background started in Turin. I started with my bachelor in cinema and multimedia engineering.
Cinema?
Yeah, that's a hybrid topic in which we start studying computer engineering, and then we decide to expand our horizons. So in the beginning we study everything that passes through a screen. So
Okay.
applications, multimedia, cinema, different kind of programming. And during the master we focus more on a specific field. So I decided to focus more on virtual reality, mixed reality, and game design in general.
Okay.
And after that, I decided to keep pursuing an academic career. And currently, I'm carrying out my PhD in augmented reality for a head-up display in automotive. So I'm trying to bridge the augmented reality and mixed reality world with IoT and real use of this technology.
Okay, and that brings us to the paper.
Oh yeah, that's towards Carla VR, which is not the first, but I'd like to say one of the most promising attempts to introducing a VR simulator within the Carla simulator, which is a huge simulator. It's the standard de facto for the autonomous driving data generation, which is a great tool, really rich, wide ecosystem. And we're trying to add an immersive feature so that researcher can use the same tool they use for autonomous driving to test human AI interfaces.
Why is that important?
Well, it is really important for several reasons. The first that comes to mind is that people need to trust their vehicles if you want to have autonomous vehicles, because otherwise
would be a good thing. Yes.
Second of all, there are different levels of autonomous vehicles, but the ones we are seeing right now on the street have their limits. So they have to be able to communicate to the user, hey, I cannot drive autonomously anymore, please take over. And lastly, once the fully autonomous vehicle, so the level 5 autonomous vehicle will be available, we will need to do something while driving. So we will be on our chair, and maybe head-up display might be a tool for us to access information or maybe displays, but we have to test it in a safe environment rather than on the road.
Makes perfect sense to me. So how long till we see something like this become a reality?
Well, actually, we are already working on the second version of Carla VR. I'd say that in a few months we will have the repository online and usable, and I hope that people will get interested in that, because it is an open source project based on an open source engine. So you can do whatever you want on that, but you're working on an ecosystem that is already widely shared.
Yeah. Is there anything you found that you didn't expect during your research?
Well, I'd say that most of the research pursuit is dealing with the unexpected, because we have a lot of stuff that comes up. You were working on a topic, you are sure that, okay, this is my thesis, this is my test, I will either confirm it or deny it.
That's the goal.
Yeah, well, but after a test you just find that the data tells a whole other story, and you have to reframe your research. And this is both in the work and in the networking phase. So when you...
Do you have a specific example from that?
Well, yeah, for instance, I've been collaborating with a company, Reply Cluster in Turin, for a few months.
Yeah.
And I was just there in the labs to test some augmented reality application. And a colleague from another company comes by. They're talking of a driving simulator in their ecosystem. So one thing led to another, and we have been working for the last 6 months on creating a ROS-backed Carla simulator for their purposes. So from working on an application, we find a whole other branch of collaboration.
Well, that's good. Okay. Anything upcoming? What you're working on right now?
Well, at the moment I'm finalizing the second iteration of Carla VR, but I am really looking forward to bridge my sector of augmented reality head-up display with everything that is connected to explainable AI. Because as I mentioned before, we need the user to understand what the car is doing. But also I would like to explore how head-up display might prevent or reduce the effects of bad driving. So for instance, if I duplicate my smartphone on the display, might it reduce accident? Might it enhance them? Let's try and find out in a safe environment.
The last part is important. Okay, it's interesting. About the conference, how do you feel about the conference so far?
Actually, I'm really excited. It is. I haven't been into many conferences yet, but it is really nice to find so many people from so many different backgrounds. So you get to meet people that have something in common with your research, and you might propose and brainstorm new ideas, while at the same time you might find people that have absolutely nothing to do with you, but still communicating with them and mixing your background might result in something really unique.
Bit of cross-pollination.
Yeah.
Excellent. Will you be joining the boat tour tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I have my jacket just in case and comfortable shoes.
Excellent. I'm just going to ask you some quick fire questions, so rapid questions, and please give me a really brief, maybe one word or short sentence answers.
Okay.
What's an important skill for a researcher to have?
Flexibility.
Okay. Which industry will be most transformed by AI in the upcoming 5 years?
Well, it's hard to not mention one. Surely everything connected to the user experience will be deeply impacted.
Okay. AI or human intelligence?
Oh, human intelligence.
Okay. AI consciousness, is it possible or impossible?
Well, it all comes down to what you define as consciousness, but I think that if we will ever reach something like that, it won't be comparable with human consciousness.
Okay. What's a big research motivation for you?
Well, actually, with all this technology that is making life more complex, the goal is to find something that makes it easier and simplify the approach to technology, but at the same time accessible for everyone.
Excellent. Is there a book or a research you recommend for people interested in your field?
Well, I have to be honest, I don't read that much on paper because the PhD student life is what it is, so you have little time. But I would just recommend to get everything that you might be even slightly interested in and dig in, because you can never know what you find in the next book or in the next resources.
Okay. Well, as a PhD student, is there any good advice you've ever been given that you would like to share that would be helpful for other people as well?
Oh yeah, classic one. Done is better than perfect, because perfect is never done.
Awesome. Leonardo, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm here with Debre Kennedy Mayo. Welcome.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. How are you so far?
It's been a wonderful conference.
That's good to hear. Can you tell me a bit about your academic journey?
I probably have a longer academic journey than some, but by training, I'm an attorney. I graduated from Emory University in the United States.
Okay.
And after having a career as an attorney for about 10 years, I moved into the academic world. I'm a faculty member at Georgia Tech.
Okay. And what do you do for the university there?
So primarily I do research. So at the intersection of privacy and cybersecurity and law and policy. So we try to be that interplay and try and figure out, do we need a tech solution to something? Do we need a policy solution, or do we just need people to talk?
Okay, which brings us to your paper. Because you just presented one. Can you tell us a bit about it?
So I have a co-author, Jake Gord, and he and I work together at Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
And we do a lot, again, in the privacy space, but we really realized that for models, so AI models, that there was something that currently existed called a model card that was some transparency, but it didn't include some of the things that today we would talk about. Today we would talk about risk environment and risk management and trustworthiness. And so we've incorporated these ideas, and what we've hoped to do is to change a model card from something that was just outward facing and oftentimes B2B to something that was internally facing. So everybody in the company would be thinking about ethical issues from a practical standpoint and trying to help answer the questions of trustworthiness and risk management.
Why is that important?
I think today, even in this conference, we've heard people say, hey, I'm doing research related to emotional AI and how we can capture the information, but I'm a technical person. Ethical people or legal compliance people deal with those issues. And it's like, let's think
Not the right way to
further.
do that,
Well, it's the way that we're classically trained. Of this person has this job and I have this job. But in reality, particularly when we're talking about impactful AI, we want everyone to be involved because we want the conversation not to be a conversation of what the person on the legal team thinks the answer should be, but what everybody in the company thinks the answer should be. Because these are really things that are going to affect society as a whole. And so we want to make sure that we have the best products that we can coming out.
Makes sense to me. Is there anything interesting that came up while you were doing your research?
I think some of the challenges that we were seeing, we saw ways to actually explain them best by talking about some things that came up at this conference, which are neurotechnologies.
Okay.
That in the future, you're
Yeah.
going to probably have a chip in your brain. And who's going to have access to that? Is a business going to have access to that? Is the government going to have access to that? We want the people who are designing today to be thinking all the way through that chain. Where's this going to end up? Do we put in place some privacy by design, some security by design today to make sure that we don't wind up with an unintended consequence in the future?
Okay, but we're not there yet. How long do you think it will take before
we're on the
Okay,
edge of it
okay,
already.
yeah.
So we've already have earbuds
Yeah.
that you can put in that can do an EEG, basically a little bit of a listening to your brain and
Okay.
then tell you basically through music what they think your mood is.
Okay.
And Neuralink, which is a US-based company, already for people who have very significant health issues, so say they've lost mobility, they already have some implants that they can do that will say allow somebody who's paralyzed to be able to actually like play a video game.
Okay.
They play it with their mind.
Yeah.
And so you can imagine that the first place that we're going to see that kind of implant is likely in people who play video games, because you won't have to use a controller. There won't be that
Yeah,
delay
okay, yeah.
that we have today.
Awesome. Okay. How has the conference been for you so far?
It's been great. I love to interact with people from around the world to hear different views on issues like privacy and cybersecurity. Is it working? Is it not working? Where do we want to go with AI?
Yeah.
And so that's what we're doing here.
Okay. Did you get to go on the boat trip by any chance?
I did.
How was it?
It was beautiful. We had a beautiful weather, but also the history that is Berlin. So the
yeah.
East and West that have come together. We literally went on a boat tour that went across that line. And at one time it had been a very sad place, and today it's a beautiful place with lots of people sitting outside and enjoying the weather. And it's nice to see that we have these democratic principles that are in play today, and that line has been gone for a long time.
Okay. I will finish with some rapid fire questions.
Do my best.
First off, what's an important skill for a researcher to have?
Being concerned about the impacts of their research.
Okay. Which industry will be most transformed by AI in the upcoming 5 years?
I don't know the answer to that. I think that we could see potentially across the board,
Yeah.
or we could see a lot less than we expect today, but I think that humans will be involved, particularly in the next 5 years, in any transformation they have. So we'll have human in the loop.
Well, that brings me to the next question. Artificial intelligence or human intelligence?
And I see that it's going to become a both.
Yeah.
I do think that that's important, and I think it's going to be exciting.
Okay. Do you think AI consciousness will be possible?
You make an assumption that it's not already there.
Okay.
And so I think it is not the consciousness that you and I experience, but we already have AI that can hallucinate,
Yeah.
which actually means that it can lie, and we already have AI that can scheme. So we have some very early stages of consciousness. It's not, I don't think it'll ever be like our consciousness.
But just different.
Different, yes.
Okay. What's a big research motivation for you?
Make the world a better place.
Is there a book or a resource you'd recommend for people interested in your field?
The one that comes to mind is The Battle for Your Brain, which is by Anita Farahany. And
Yeah.
she is a researcher in the United States that's really trying to make sure there are neuro rights in place. And it's one of the things that's important. We also need to make sure there are technical approaches. But it's one of the things that's looking at, once we get the brain data, how do we protect it? Because it's going to be the most intimate type of data that we've ever had.
Okay. Is there some advice you ever received as a researcher which would be good to share?
Advice as a researcher: make sure that you include more than just your own viewpoint.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
and
so
enjoy
much.
the rest of the conference.
Thank you so much.
I'm here live at the FICC 2025, live from Berlin. I'm here with Javier Naranjo. Javier, welcome.
Thank you so much.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Can you tell us a bit about your academic journey so far?
Yes, I am a telecommunication engineer from the Polytechnical University of Valencia in Spain.
Yeah.
When I finished my master's degree, I joined a startup where I started working with machine listening solutions. That is the capability of creating AI algorithms that are able to extract relevant information from audio data, non-speech audio data. We say it environmental, industrial audio data. We were trying to create a smart home system for deaf people, and that's the research I have been carrying out. I joined the Technological Institute of Informatics in Valencia in 2021, and I'm since then working in these technologies.
Okay. Can you tell us about the paper?
Yes, we designed an active learning model that is an active learning model tries to select in an intelligent manner samples that have to be labeled by humans. We had a use of case in the port of Valencia where we deployed seven recording nodes that were recording more or less 24/7. So we ended up after 1 year with 5 million audios, and we had to label that. So it was impossible, of course. So we designed a strategy in order to select the most relevant ones.
Okay. And why is that research important?
Because I think nowadays the audio domain is not explored as visual, speech, etc. So first of all, in this domain we need audio databases. We have some audio databases that are public, but are not huge enough as image.
You want to expand that database?
Yeah, of course. That's the main goal.
Makes sense to me. So was there anything during your research which happened what you didn't expect, but was interesting nonetheless?
What as I said, in other domains, the researcher has only to focus on the artificial intelligence solution, but that's not the case in our domain when we first have to take care about the data because we don't have enough data.
Having done this research, how will this change the world?
Well, I think audio is an untapped potential source of information that has not been explored. So I hope that in the future, more multimodal solutions will appear in the market, in the industry, using image, speech, audio, environmental audio, etc.
Okay, and who will benefit from that in the end?
More robustness, because when you have a full picture of the scenario, you can make better decisions.
Yeah. How have you found the conference so far?
Very great, very great. I enjoy most of the sessions. I met a lot of new colleagues, so it's fun.
Good.
Yeah.
Did you by any chance happen to go on the boat tour as well?
Yes, I did to the trip yesterday, and I really enjoyed the trip in the river of Berlin. Yeah.
Excellent. So I have some rapid fire question for you. Maybe you can give a short answer, a short sentence, or just one word. What's an important skill for a researcher to have?
I would say the intention to novelty. Be aware of novelty, novel solutions. Yeah.
Which industry will be most transformed by AI in the upcoming 5 years?
I hope in industry, especially. Well, in the use of case we are working is the port of Valencia, so I hope industry, open spaces in our case, airports, etc., etc.
Okay. Artificial intelligence or human intelligence?
Both. I think we need to combine both sources of information. As I work with audio, as I said, more sources of information make more robust predictions.
AI consciousness, is it possible?
I hope so.
You hope so? Okay, fair enough. What is a big research motivation for you personally?
Try to improve solutions that are now deployed, but not just audio, and they can be benefited by it.
Okay. Is there a book or a resource you'd recommend for people interested in your field?
Not too much information about audio. I would recommend the Detection and Classification Acoustic Event Challenge that is performed annually. And there is a challenge, and people can participate in the open tasks.
Okay. Wow, sounds good. Finally, is there any good advice you ever had as a researcher which might be worthwhile to share here?
Just try to improve your solution.
Always. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I'm at FTC 2024 and I'm talking to Ran Heinrichs from Norwich University in Vermont. Hi Ran.
Hi, how you doing?
Nice to have you here.
Thank you very much. It's
See,
a pleasure
you
to be here.
Just presented a paper, didn't
I
you?
did.
And you
I
just
did.
come out fresh from that. How did it go?
Well, I thought it was amazing. The amount of questions I got overwhelmed me in the sense as I wasn't prepared for all of those questions, but I had answers for them, so it was good.
Well, I've got another question for you. Can you tell us in brief what your paper was about?
Our paper is about innovating in cybersecurity education using artificial intelligence to do it. So what we do is we identify student competencies and we create content based upon those competencies.
Okay, and what are the practical applications for that?
Rapid acceleration into a job. So what we're trying to do is accelerate the 4-year degree to a 2-year degree to a 1-year degree.
What's the biggest challenge you faced in your research?
The biggest challenge that we face in our research is really identifying what competency is and how we measure competency. When we get into the workplace, there's a different perception about what they're expecting versus what we actually are training for. So that's the toughest thing, is to match what industry wants.
And how do you address those challenges?
By working more closely with industry.
Okay.
What we do is we send our students out into industry as soon as we possibly can, and we're putting them out there as, and it depends upon their level of expertise, but we're putting them out there as early as 6 months, where they're actually engaged in cybersecurity activities in the company, working for the company.
So it's a close collaboration with
It's a very close collaboration with industry.
Right. So I've got some rapid fire questions for you.
Oh,
Brian.
good.
Are you ready for them?
I am.
Okay.
Shoot.
Which industry do you think will be most transformed by AI in the next 5 years?
Healthcare.
Hands down.
There's a lot of old people, yeah. And there's a lot of innovation in drugs, in care. So I think that it'll have the widest impact and it'll have the most economic impact.
Yeah.
And then agriculture.
And the most positive.
Almost positive.
Okay. And then your next, agriculture.
Yeah, agriculture, yes. The growing of food, the growing of healthy food, and the growing of more food for more people, so we have less starvation in the world.
You're positive about the effects of AI?
Absolutely positive about the effects of AI.
Oh, great. So do you think AI can ever become truly creative?
Oh, absolutely. If an elephant can become creative, so can AI. But AI is pretty ingenious. It's as ingenious as the person who uses it. So you talk back to AI and it'll get smarter. If you want it to be more creative, you be more creative. So it's a relationship. It's human intelligence and artificial intelligence, what I've heard one person describe as actual intelligence.
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah. Okay, another quick rapid fire question for you. Privacy or innovation?
It's just having that conversation with some 22-year-olds. If you want to have AI really be an agent for you, you're going to have to be a little bit flexible on your privacy. Privacy is not a right. It's not in our American Constitution, which is surprising to everybody. But if you want the technology to really help you, to really recommend what you need, I think you're going to have to get used to being exposed on the internet. And what do you have anyway that anyone would want to steal? You're not Bill Gates. You're not Elon Musk. So, and I'm not saying that you have to give up your privacy. I'm just saying you're going to have to share your privacy and own it.
Okay. Some of your privacy, not all of it.
No, not all of it at all.
Okay. And how did the 22-year-olds react? Are they quite easy about giving away their
They're very easy about giving it away. They don't think about it hardly at all. They understand that, like, if you got mugged in the city, you'd probably walk more carefully where you go in the city. If you get mugged by a cybersecurity threat, you'll probably be a little bit more concerned about privacy, but you don't see it as much. You don't see it in the small scale. You see it in the large scale with banks and infrastructure.
What role do you think governments should play in overseeing AI?
Well, I believe that...
Or do they have a role at all?
Well, the government's responsibility is security and protection of the individual. So yes, they should have some kind of role in it. However, they really need to understand what ethics are, AI ethics, which is the field that I'm getting my PhD in right now. And that has to be understood. But the government definitely needs to be there.
Okay. And which country do you think right now is leading the way in AI?
Well, we know China's leading the way in AI. And in fact, one of my colleagues from Microsoft Research, Kai-Fu Lee, is the head of the AI project in China. And he's creating as many billionaires in AI as he can. And with that kind of incentive. But when you have now Elon Musk and Vivek at the helm, you're going to see some enormous innovation here in America. And then I think Europe will be right behind. We work together as partners at all times.
Close behind or far behind?
Yeah, you know how it is. Sometimes the Americans innovate, sometimes the British innovate, but I think that we'll collaborate.
Okay.
That'll work more effectively.
Well, that's what this conference is about, getting people together.
It is.
Collaborating together. How are you liking the conference so far?
I'm loving it. I'm meeting people from all over the world, and it's amazing how many people speak English all over the world.
Yeah.
It is a dominant language, but a lot of very innovative thinkers, a lot of new ideas, a lot of application rather than theory. It's really great.
Yes. Fascinating, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. Any particular speaker or presentation that you heard that really struck a chord?
I just had one. I couldn't tell you her name, and I couldn't tell you a presentation. It was the woman right before me, but she was looking at the efficacy of the chatbots with respect to how well they interpret language. And one of the interesting comments that came up about that is the research that you conducted 6 months ago is now out of date, right? Because the chatbots can do better now than what you're saying they couldn't do. So watching that comment that Stephen made this morning about paradigm shifting at an accelerated rate is essentially proven in the talk that I just saw.
Right.
That's been one of the most interesting.
Oh, fascinating. Any topics you'd like to see added to next year's agenda?
You know, I'd like to see more practical uses of technology. I'd actually like to see technology. If you go to an electronics conference in Las Vegas, you see tons of stuff.
Okay.
Right? It would be nice.
Let's look under the hood.
If we're talking robots, we should have some robots here. So anything to do with robots, and I'd like to make sure that people understand the difference between what a robot really is and a machine that's just been advanced a little bit by a software program. So definitely robotics.
In a nutshell, what's that difference for you?
Humanism and how it serves us. I've always been fascinated in looking at technology, that almost all technology that we create is designed to help us communicate. So we want to see technology that improves our communication and helps us have better relationships.
And will you be coming back to the conference next year?
Oh, you know I'll be coming back to the conference next year.
Fantastic. I hope you do. And will you be going on the bus tour tonight?
I'm definitely going on the bus tour, and my son, who came with me for his first time in Europe, is very excited about it.
Well, enjoy your tour of London.
Well, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
Hello from FTC 2024, where I'm talking today to Vinesh Thirulchelvam from the Asia Pacific University of Technology and Innovation. Hello, Vinesh.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to have you here.
I'm happy and very happy to be here.
Great. And you presented this morning, didn't you?
I did.
Your paper. Can you tell us briefly what your paper was about?
Yeah, so the paper was about aspects of digital transformation for marginal oil fields in Southeast Asia.
Okay. Yeah. And that's because there's a lot of oil fields where you're from Malaysia, yeah?
There is. There's actually 65,000 oil fields in the world today, out of which 94% of the major oil production happens in 1,500 oil fields. So there's 97 oil fields which are quite marginal. These are smaller oil fields. These are oil fields where they're so small, economically it's not viable to sort of incur costs and try to operate on them. Yeah, and the reason why we went into this research is to find a solution where 97% of these oil fields, which are marginal, with the use of digital solutions, they can have a life. And based on the demand for oil and gas, these fields actually have a very important opportunity to serve the needs and the demand in the coming future.
In the coming years, we're not clear of fossil fuels yet. We still need them. Yeah. Okay. And what challenges have you had in your research?
Right. So to get the research going, we had to study the entire landscape. So we did a very qualitative approach in the beginning to study what was the current solutions put together, why the operators did not want to go into these kind of marginal oil fields. So we went into a very structured qualitative study. We did a lot of interviews with some of the senior operators of marginal oil fields. We also did a literature investigation. We did a benchmarking study with one of the major oil operators in Malaysia, which is Petronas. And collectively, we came up with data which was enough to give us the justification to start putting solutions into the digitization of marginal oil fields.
So your research is being used already?
It's already being used.
In practice?
We actually have 4 phases for this research. What I presented today was the first phase, which was the qualitative approach. We finished that in 2023, actually. We have now actually moved into the second and third phase, which is the computational part of it, which is the deployment of AI and machine learning, and also trying to find the structured data and the unstructured data, which can be used in a lot of prediction studies that we want to do, so that we have this desire, an ultimate desire, which is to digital twin a lot of these operations so that we don't actually have to go to the field. We can simulate a lot of the outcomes.
Simulations?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Interesting. Got a few quick fire questions for you. Are you ready for them?
I'm ready, I'm ready.
Here we go. Which industry do you think will be most transformed by AI in the coming 5 years?
I think the industry is the enterprise industry, business in totality, will be sort of impacted the most, and they will also benefit the most. But now, having said that, I think the secondary industries such as manufacturing will also help, where it is heavy resource. And those are the type of industries which can benefit from the deployment of AI.
Another quick fire question for you. Privacy or innovation?
Very good question. Innovation will never stop. I myself lead innovation in my institution. It is something that is a need and a want, because you always have to stay up with the game. Secondly, we also have to be able to give what the demand requires in terms of the demand that comes from users, from clients and things like that. But that being innovation, the privacy part will always come in, because if you look at the deployment of AI, I think one of the crucial areas of having too much data, too much rapid decision making being done, the security around all this within the same network or the landscape or the ecosystem itself is of importance, and it's very important to be able to pivot as when needed. And again, that I think that will also bring into the existence of AI, which enables you to combat cybersecurity and enable you to pivot as when needed.
Okay, so you're positive about the impact of AI.
I have to, because we use AI at work. I'm an academic, so we use AI. Certain deployment has been done for teaching and learning, but a very heavy usage of AI and the applications of it in terms of research, and what we believe in is applied research. What I preach is a research with a purpose. So everything has got to have an outcome, and that's what we've been doing. And AI is here to stay for sure.
Yeah. And when it comes to outcomes, do you think AI can ever be truly creative?
I think it's already being shown. A lot of tools out there are showing creativity. I think what brings the future in AI is we are able to use AI in a creative manner. So it's there, it can create, but you got to deploy it in your own creation according to what you want the outcome to be.
And what about when it comes to oversight of AI? Do you think governments should be involved in overseeing AI?
I think it's a must. It is already happening where I come from in Malaysia. We have a lot of AI programs in terms of AI faculties, for example, in institutions. We have AI for the citizen, which was sort of pushed forward by the Prime Minister, which is actually educating and bringing the awareness of the benefits and how AI is to be used. And I think that's a good start, and it was well received by the public.
Right. And which country do you think is leading the way when it comes to AI right now?
I have to say, being a well-traveled person, I think China is going way beyond boundaries. It is going further beyond driving capabilities. They're going too rapid in the applications of AI, and they become sort of a benchmark. But again, I think it's a top-down approach whereby they want AI to be pushed forward in terms of so many of their assets, so much of their ecosystem, and the things they do on a daily basis.
Right. Is it your first time at the FTC?
It is my first time at the FTC.
Right.
Loving it.
Yeah.
My second day. I think the best part about FTC is you get to see what is being presented in terms of emerging technologies. That's why I chose FTC. It's the future technologies, right? I think the emerging technologies is what you want to see. Firstly, in terms of what is being done from different people from different countries, because the amount of nationalities here is amazing.
Yeah.
That gives you another platform to actually network. And I've met a lot of people. I think over the last 2 days, I've met more than 10 people.
I think there's more. Probably more. I've seen you chatting with everybody.
Exactly. And it was very interesting to see what they are doing and the similarities. So as soon as you talk to someone, you network, and you find something which has a similar frequency, you already connected. You go beyond connection.
Yeah.
And I think that's already happening. I had a few this morning as well, and last night as well. I had the bus tour last night. It was wonderful.
You enjoyed that?
Yeah. That was a very social thing that allowed me to even talk more with some of these other participants of the conference.
Well, I had a lot of time to talk because you're stuck in a traffic jam.
Exactly.
You're stuck in a traffic jam.
And it was dark, so we could not see much from the bus, only when we got down. But then it allowed me to mingle and mix with the others. And I think what FTC has brought is brought a world together.
Yeah.
And so many people from so many different countries. Yeah. I think it's the beauty of it. Yeah.
Fantastic. And will you be coming to the FTC 2025?
I've already asked where it's going to be.
In Munich.
And
Munich in Germany.
Asked which dates is it? Like same time, and I was told Munich. Yeah. So rest assured, if I have enough information to share and put a paper together, I will be at FTC 2025.
Perfect. I hope to see you then.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vinesh.
Cheers.
Thank you. Hello from FTC 2024, where I'm talking to Liane Marina Mesmer from Furtwangen University. Hello, Liana.
Hello.
Hi. So you're a PhD, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes. And you've presented a paper yesterday.
Yes.
Here at the conference.
Exactly.
What was it about?
It was about context-aware machine learning.
Okay. Can you explain what that is for someone like me who doesn't understand?
Of course. I start with the term context. Context is essential for machines to interpret different situations correctly, because even humans consider contextual information in order to take more precise decisions. So the decisions are not based just on past data or on available data. They are precise, containing additional information.
Okay.
And this makes systems more adaptable in different situations, and they can, for example, consider ambiguous scenarios better than without contextual information.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what might be some of the practical applications of this?
For example, in healthcare.
Okay.
Maybe they can assist a doctor in taking treatment decisions by considering additional patient-related parameters for decision-making about their history or their lifestyle or something like that.
Okay. So you're hoping your research will make a difference in the real world?
Yes.
Good stuff. What challenges have you faced with your research?
I wrote a survey paper, and it was very challenging in identifying the literature items for the survey, because there are a lot of works of dealing with AI architectures which enable the integration of contextual information, but they are not marked as such.
So how did you get over that?
It was very time consuming. I read a lot of works in that area, to consider different keywords, which enabling us to get the correct works out of literature.
So you mentioned us. So presumably you didn't do this research on your own. Was it with your team?
Together with my PhD supervisor.
Okay. Is this your first time at the FTC conference?
Yeah.
Okay. How are you liking it?
Oh, I'm happy with the conference.
Yeah?
I like the setting very much. Yeah. I think it's a little bit different than the other conferences I attend, but I like it.
In what way is it different?
It's easier for me to network with the elders because of your stoppers at the beginning.
Well, we had a nice break. Hopefully, means people can talk to each other. Yeah. See, have you met lots of people?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you made maybe connections you're going to keep after the conference?
Oh, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, great. And who knows? Maybe collaborate together in the future.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, crazy.
And do you think you'll be coming to the conference next year?
Yes. Hopefully.
Which will be in Munich, just close to you.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe see you then.
Yes, will be great.
Thanks, Liana. Nice having you
Thank
here.
you very much.
Thank you. Hello from FTC 2024. I'm talking to Inga Arntzen from Norse, which is in Tromsø, way up in the Arctic Circle in Norway. Nice to have you here in Chiswick in London, where it's maybe a little bit warmer. I don't know.
It is a little bit, but yeah.
So you presented a paper yesterday?
I did, yeah.
And how did that go?
I think it went well. At first I got some good questions from the audience, and I
always a good sign.
Felt a good response, so that was good. Yeah.
What was it about, briefly?
So I'm working with media technology. So basically, I'm interested in how we are using technology for storytelling and how we can really advance in that regard. And I think there is a general interest for making media experiences much more advanced in the future, and also much more adapted to individual persons. And this has, of course, been driven by people being different, and you have different demands and wishes for the media experiences, and also some strong requirements in terms of accessibility, letting people have the type of media that they can actually use when they have specific demands, but also just more easy or more simple things like most of us would maybe appreciate it if the coverage from something was adapted a bit to their specific interest. Like, say, they have a favorite team or a favorite athlete or something. Maybe you would like to see that being reflected in how this thing is presented to you, right?
Okay.
And so personalization is a big topic. Many actors there, BBC, for instance, specifically interested in this through their 10-year initiative about object-based media. And this is also my research area, how to sort of cater for a new and more flexible platform for making those kinds of media experiences.
Does this link in quite well with our second keynote yesterday, Adrian Hilton?
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
His talk was a bit about that, and also my work is related to that.
Okay. Did you talk to him?
I didn't, because he just left just after.
What a shame. Yeah. What a shame. Hopefully you can contact him and talk to him another time.
I have some connections with him to other people. So.
Oh, absolutely. Right. Nice. Yeah. Nice. So, what are the challenges you faced with your research?
So, well, let me first say that one of the challenges in the domain is a bit that the media model is a bit strict in a sense. The classical production way of producing things, like in a studio with video and all, that is single technology, single stream, single user experience. We'd like to use much more of what we have available, like different rendering frameworks, different data sources, all of that, and even different devices in the same presentation. And so it's about extending media in that sense. And also with regards to personalization, it's important to not make all the production decisions in the studio, but take some of them out of the studio and into user devices so that they can be properly personal to you and carried out based on local information. And that is a tough problem.
Right. Are you hoping your research will have a positive influence in the real world?
I think so. What we presented in the paper is a new approach to how you can do production control also outside the studio. And that, if you think about production control, that's all the knobs and buttons and sliders in the studio thing, but they only apply in the studio domain. If you wanted to, say, control a web interface, sitting in the hands of a user. They don't have control mechanisms for doing that right now, but it would be very interesting if they had, because then they could do what you do, basically. They could control the zooming of things in your browser. They could control switching to another thing, to another content source, maybe making sure that you always see the right thing in front of you without having to do it yourself, right? And that could be quite transformative, and it's an example of how you can really do storytelling in a new way on a new platform, really, without resorting to video.
Wow, you're a good storyteller yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah, keen on that. Are you using AI technologies?
Not directly as such, but we are sort of preparing. We are addressing how you can use. We are improving things for AI in the sense that how can you use AI? AI is very interesting in this media world because it shows us already that it can produce very different types of content for different people. But there's still a remaining problem, and that is how you put it together for people. And it needs to be put together a little bit differently for you and for me, right? And then you need basically AI to take on the producer role to a larger extent. You need to replace the human in the studio and maybe make that a more automated process that takes into account your specific needs or interests or preferences or whatnot. And we are presenting a control system that sort of allows itself to be used by AI more directly, so that AI can sit and be the decision maker, maybe in a studio or maybe in a hosted center, but still have impact directly on your experience in your browser or in your interface.
Interesting stuff. Talking of AI, I got some rapid fire questions for you about AI. Which area of life do you think will be most impacted by AI over the next 5 years, say?
5 years it's both a short and a long even time span right there. But I think the obvious steps that is in work life, and I think also what people the opportunities that are pursued first, especially media, are the ones that save you money. So it's about efficiency and automating stuff and basically doing what we used to do before, but doing it cheaper and faster and so forth. But in the long run, I think there will be deeper consequences, and I'm not sure what they are.
Are you optimistic or a little bit pessimistic?
Well, I'm a technology guy, so now, yeah, I'm a bit optimistic about how these things. I see those things that we can maybe do in the future, but I'm not so much worried about that.
Following on from that, rapid fire question: privacy or innovation?
No, I like innovation. So that's my drive anyway. Privacy is important, of course, and you need to respect it. But my personal drive is to drive for innovation.
Right. And do you think machines can ever be truly creative?
Yeah, I think they are. We are creative in the same way machines are, maybe.
We're not so different, maybe.
No, I don't think so.
And which country do you think is leading the way in technology?
The US, of course, has an upper hand. They have a massive both monetary, financial support by their initiative, and also their experts have experience that few others have. So yeah, US for sure.
Is this your first time at the FTC?
It is, yeah.
Okay, great. How are you finding it?
Absolutely, a very nice place to come to, very nice venue, and also a great organized. The event is very well organized, so excellent work.
Great. Have you met lots of people?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think connections maybe you might keep in the future?
Yeah, some of them will be. This is obviously an event where you have a very broad selection of topics. So it's there will always be a few that are more relevant than the others. But I'm certainly up to follow up on some of them.
Great. Apart from your own presentation, any other presentations that really stuck out for you?
Yeah, I liked the keynotes. I think the keynotes were very good, and really all of them. And also there were some amusing presentations about robots that I liked.
Who doesn't love robots?
Exactly.
Yeah. And did you go on the bus tour?
I did, yeah. We went for a ride and got to experience the authentic London traffic.
Exactly. That's the main experience.
No, that was good. And the guy was good too. He was giving us a good introduction to the main sites around. Yeah.
And do you have a favourite site that you visited?
I've been around a bit in London before, so I've seen some, but for me, Buckingham Palace was the new.
Okay.
So I got to see that.
It's nice.
Yeah.
And will you be coming to the FTC next year in Munich?
Yeah, I absolutely. I'm maybe even planning to do so. I do have a third paper in mind. I published at the FTC last year as well. So maybe if that comes true, I will take that.
Well, I hope to see you next year.
Indeed.
Thanks very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hello from FTC 2024, where I'm talking to Andrew Gascoigne from the University of Wolverhampton. Hi, Andrew. Nice to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So you're not presenting a paper yourself. You are here supporting your PhD student who is.
That's right, yes, and I'm a co-author along with some team members up at University of Wolverhampton as well, yeah.
Okay, and what's the research about?
So it's about chaotic neural networks as an application to solve optimization problems. So it sounds quite exotic compared to some of your standard type neural network type problems, but that's what we're looking into.
How can you explain that or simplify that for someone like me?
Sure. So the principle of chaos is that small changes in initial conditions can create large differences in future behaviors.
Butterfly effect.
Exactly. That's where that comes from. And so we're essentially we're creating neural network models where the neurons themselves exhibit chaotic behavior. But it's transient chaos, so that chaos hopefully will die down after a time and then stabilize. And it's a way of, looking for solutions in, these landscapes, solution landscapes and things like that.
Okay, so if I get my head around it, complicated stuff. What are the practical applications for this?
Yeah, so traditionally, these types of networks, they go back to Hopfield type networks, which is kind of like just basic gradient descent, but they're often used on like location allocation type problems. Again, the classic is like the traveling salesman type problem, where you've got cities and you want to, visit every city and what's the most efficient route to take type thing. So you can use these type of networks to solve those types of problems. So often in telecommunications these days is a location allocation problem, effectively.
Okay. And does that have benefits for sustainability, for example?
Well, exactly. I mean, it's one of the reasons we've been looking into these architectures, because they are very low intensive in terms of energy consumption. They don't require a lot of data to train, things like this. So labeled data is often difficult to come by. So these networks have that kind of advantage, but they have some disadvantages as well, obviously, which is why they're not being used as much as, let's say, it's contemporary other techniques and stuff.
Okay, so complex stuff. What kind of challenges have you had with your research?
Yeah, so with these networks, they're mathematically a bit more complex than your traditional methods. So it involves kind of these iterative algorithms. They're based on differential equations. I do have a maths background, so I understand it a little bit. And obviously, we're trying to control chaos, which obviously in itself is a difficult minefield to kind of navigate as well. But yeah, so they're the difficulties. It's like I say, they're not huge networks. They're small, but they're complicated in how they behave. If that makes sense.
Were you pleased with your PhD student's presentation?
I was very pleased. Excellent. She's a very good speaker, Emily, my student, and yeah, she did a great job on the project. And she's been doing some funny videos at the conference as well. So I would have a shout out about those ones.
I've seen them. They're great. They're great. I love her videos. So I'm going to ask you a few rapid fire questions, if that's all right with you. Okay, which industry do you think will be most transformed by AI in the next 5 years?
Well, at the moment, in terms of my work, we're liaising a lot with wildlife conservation and things like this, because the global north-south divide in terms of technology infrastructure and things like this. It's very difficult to run some of these large language models which require lots of resources, cloud infrastructure. They're expensive. So we're working with a lot of kind of environmental organizations and things like that that do monitoring of species and things like this in areas, as you can imagine, that don't have a lot of infrastructure. And you can use like these lightweight models as kind of as part of edge processing devices, which is essentially in the field on the device itself. Yeah, that makes sense.
So field of constellation,
yeah,
AI will have a huge impact.
I think that is going to be, it's one of the areas that isn't being looked at, I would say, is not quite there yet, because there's lots of applications in industry already. Yeah, I mean, I was at a conference a couple of weeks ago with the IBM user group in the UK, and yeah, they're developing chatbots based on their manuals in their business and things like that, to help their employees and customers and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's transforming industry, I would say, already, kind of thing. So I would say that's going to continue over time anyway.
Right.
But yeah.
So another AI question. Do you think machines can ever become truly creative?
Creative, right. So, that term needs defining very carefully, I would say. Now, it's funny you should say that, because the models we use, because there's chaos involved, that's linked to unpredictability and how the system behaves, so it does throw up kind of unique things that aren't based on the data it was given, kind of thing. You see what I mean? So there is possibility of, I would say, more authentic creativity, as opposed to, okay, this is all the data it's been trained on, and effectively what it's doing is, packaging that, maybe, messing around with it a little bit, and then presenting that to your audience, kind of thing. So we'll see what happens.
Philosophical discussion about what is creativity. Is it coming out with very random things?
Yes, exactly.
Nice. Okay, another quick fire question. Privacy or innovation? What's more important for you?
Oh, for me, innovation, for sure. Obviously privacy is very important, but I don't step into that realm very often. What I'm dealing with is models and, mathematical models, or, these neural network architectures, playing around really. It's like a Lego toolbox I'm playing around with. The privacy issues are quite minimal, as you can expect, and the ethical considerations are all similar.
So tinkering around with
toys. Well, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Which country do you think is leading the way with AI right now?
That's a good question. I mean, America, obviously that's where the noise is coming from. The large, computing companies, Google and their related AI, companies involved, Microsoft and things like that. So it is coming from America, I would say, in terms of those large AI models and things like that and the applications. But, there's opportunities for elsewhere, to start creating or utilizing these things, and you can actually start building your own AI models. It's amazing. You don't have to be a programmer anymore to start using these things. It's quite incredible. The software's there. You just use the platform and off you go, kind of thing. It's so
makes it sound so easy.
Well, in many ways it is. It's just it's very new. It's just being willing to Previously, it was like Excel, I guess, was difficult. Oh, I'm not using Excel, but everyone's using Excel now in companies. And it's kind of similar, really. It's a platform like Excel, and you can just start pointing and clicking and kind of build your own models and apply them.
I might have a go.
Yeah, do.
Won't end well. So, is this your first time at FTC?
It is.
Okay, how are you liking it?
Oh, it's great, brilliant. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I've been talking to a lot of people since I've been here. Like, one of the main things I've been trying to, one of the goals coming to this conference was, finding other applications, especially for the models we're developing, because a lot of the noise is around these large language models, and we know we can do applications that we can't do what they do, but we can do kind of smaller projects, and finding those applications, it's been really helpful since I've been here.
Oh, yeah. You've been inspired.
Exactly, yeah. And I've been talking to people, and we're going to, carry on the conversation, as it were, and see if we can help. Can our models help their discipline? That would be great.
Great. That might do some future collaborations.
Exactly, absolutely.
Brilliant. Any other, apart from your own student, any other papers, presentations that really struck a chord with you?
So actually, I would say I think it was yesterday afternoon in the Hogarth suite. There was a talk on linearizing some of the language models and therefore reducing them down. and then you can have a snapshot and a kind of simulate, and therefore have kind of a lightweight model developed, because this is your test case, it's actually over here. You don't need to take the entire data set. It's like, well, actually, we're looking at this. And that was a really interesting talk, actually, how to reduce complexity within these very complex systems kind of thing. So that was really good.
Any other topics you'd like to see added to future conferences?
Well, maybe like a climate or a green computing, green energy, green technologies type thing, applications in that would be good to see.
Okay.
A shout out as well to the e-learning. I think that was the morning session yesterday as well. That was great as well, because I'm involved in some maths education type projects as well. So that's always good to see.
Well, it's been nice having you here, Andrew. And will you be joining us next year in Munich?
I suspect so. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, so I'll be looking out for the new call and submit and see how we go. Hope so. See you. Yes. All right, great. Thanks.
I'm at FTC 2024 and I'm talking to Nicole Pascucci from the University of L'Aquila.
Yes, hi, Adams. Nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us here. You're presenting a paper tomorrow. What's it about?
Yes, tomorrow I have the presentation from my paper. Is about infrastructure monitoring, and we use actually remote sensing and geomatics technology. Because I am civil engineering, so I am not from computer science, and we use this kind of technology. After that, we apply some specific algorithms and specific method for improve the maintenance of infrastructure.
Right. And what are the main takeaways from your paper?
The first one is to make safe the workers, because today we have a lot of problem in different countries about bridges, viaducts, dams, and so on. So it's really important the safety for workers, and we try to use a method for check the cracks in safe way and improve this method. So we want to improve the visual inspection. So, and this is really important for prevention and maintenance.
What specific technologies, computer technologies, are you using for that?
We use OBIA, object-based image analysis. So we use image processing from UAV photogrammetry. And we are really focused, and we are very careful about the pre-elaboration of data. So we use some specific filters for check the edges of the cracks.
Sounds difficult. What challenges are you facing?
It's not really difficult because I like, actually. So it's, I'm really deep in these things, but the difficult maybe is to check the teeny cracks. This is not easy for us, and I know for other fields, not only for civil engineering.
And how do you think your research might make a difference in the real world?
I hope for the workers, specifically, and high up for each country, because now a lot of bridges collapse, so required attention and a good control.
So do you like the conference so far?
Yes, very, very well. I mean, I listen all presentation, and it's different to me because sometimes a lot of conference presentation, it's from data science, so it's not my field, but it's very good for capture news and new method for these things.
Right. And which presentations spoke to you the most so far?
I don't know, actually. I have a lot of presentations that I like in this moment, so maybe at the end of the conference I choose the best one for me.
Okay. Did you like the keynote speakers this morning?
Yes, absolutely. It's very amazing, interesting, and funny, actually. It was really funny, because sometimes the conference, it's not funny.
Are there any specific topics you'd like to see on the agenda for next year? civil engineering, maybe?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely civil engineering. But I mean, I like very well the deep learning and machine learning topic because it's very useful for us.
Right.
So,
Do you think you'll come back to the conference next
yeah, absolutely. Maybe the next year.
Perfect. And is this your first time in London?
In London, no, it's not my first time. If in the future technologies conference, yes, it's my first time.
Okay. And will you be going on the bus tour?
Yes, absolutely. I'm coming.
All right, enjoy it. Hope you get some nice food as well.
Oh,
Although it's not going to be Italian food, is it? Never.
no. Actually, everything here it's very good.
It's not bad, is it?
No. It's very good. The food and everything, and the organization. So,
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining us. Nice talking to you, Nicole.
thank you very much.
I'm at the FTC 2024 and I'm talking to Claire Schultzberg from Klarna. Hi, Claire.
Hi.
Tell me about your paper you're going to present tomorrow.
Yeah. So essentially, we have been writing the paper that we wish we could have read when we started the project we're working on. So my colleague and me, we were working at Spotify back then on the search functionality, and we were trying to make the evaluation process faster. And for that, we were reading about like a lot of different techniques, and we were struggling to find a way to like use different ones to iterate faster. And so, yeah, that's what our paper is about, how to choose methods for the purpose of iteration speed.
How are you enjoying the conference so far?
Yeah, it's great. It's been half a day and already so many great presentations and very enlightening keynotes.
Have you been inspired by a keynote?
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. The first speaker is the first user of the internet. That's just a great thing to see, like to hear about.
What's the biggest challenge you're facing in your research?
Essentially, when working on machine learning or on recommendation system, we can come with a lot of ideas, and it's really hard, like in advance, to know what is a good idea or not. Like you're going to add some features and some different things, but it's really hard to know what is going to stick. So what happens that often teams have a lot of ideas and very few that they end up shipping to users. And so if we want to be fast at iterating on the product and making it better for users, we need to evaluate. We need to be very efficient in our evaluation. And so that's the main challenge that we started with this paper.
That's the challenge. What's the hope? What do you hope what the impact of your research will be?
Yeah, so the hope is that it's going to help machine learning practitioners, and in particular working on recommender system, to add methods to what they're using at the moment for evaluation, which usually is a little bit of offline evaluation and then an A/B test, and to add methods to that process. So for users, that would mean that potentially we can ship good ideas faster. So the product will improve over time. So if you think about Spotify search, it's just going to get better and better at getting you what you want. And potentially we're going to launch less tests on real users that are non-successful ideas, which means that the experience is not going to be affected by those non-successful ideas that we test.
A lot of talk about AI at this conference. Do you think machines can ever be truly creative?
If they can, that's one question. But the question is also, do we want them to be creative? Do we want the machine to take the creation part of things while what are we going to be left with? Or maybe we want to use AI for doing the boring stuff and then we can do the creative stuff.
That's the best answer I've heard all day. Brilliant. Do you think governments should oversee AI? Or what role can governments play in putting the safeguards for AI?
Generally, I think that the safeguarding, like for things that are available for everyone, the safeguarding come more from like user, like everyone's expectation, and like the incentive come from what people think more than the rule. So it's like doing things like in the first keynote, doing things for user or for people. If that's what the general public is expecting, then that's more what is going to happen than if a general, like a governmental agency says we should do that.
Right. How well do you think the conference is addressing current trends?
We talked a lot about AI already and a lot about the use of ChatGPT, for example. That's essentially very modern. One question that I'm thinking about that I've not heard, but also it has been only half a day, is we talk about how AI might replace people in jobs, but there are also trends happening in the industry, in the job industry, especially in tech, that is like it's a trend that is happening and that is unrelated to AI that we're not told about.
And what specific topic would you like added to next year's agenda?
Yeah, I think the same topic in 1 year is going to be so different that I don't know what else can happen, and maybe another disruptive technology coming up. That I think in 1 year, if we talk about the same topic, it's going to be a completely different conference.
Right. What do you think of the event in general?
It's great. Like, it's really nice to get to connect to so many people and people who are coming from so far. Like we heard this morning, people coming from all countries, like 57 or something like that. So that's crazy. And it gives like a lot of perspective on the current technologies.
Have you met lots of new people?
I have not yet, but I'm really glad to have connected back with my colleague that I worked with at Spotify.
Okay.
So we have some catch-up time.
Okay, it's very nice.
We're here at Intellisys 2024, and I'm here with Dr. Jackie Campbell. Welcome.
Hi.
So, can you tell me a bit about yourself, your background?
Well, at the moment, I'm course director at Leeds Beckett University for our data science with our AI, artificial intelligence. And so I like to come to these conferences so that I can hear all the interesting things that are going on and use them to inform the curriculum.
Okay, yeah.
The stories, motivate the students. So my background is that I started working with data a long time ago. So I feel that I'm a data expert. I've been a developer. I've developed database systems. I've done data analytics, data warehousing, and then a bit of everything. Data's the theme through it all. And so now I love that I'm leading the data science courses and motivating the people of the future to take that forward.
Makes perfect sense.
It does, doesn't it?
Okay, and then you're here with a paper as well.
Yes.
Can you tell me a bit about that?
Well, my paper is drawing on my work at the university in that role. And one of the issues in technology and with data is the bias, but also the design understanding. You know, we've seen the ripple effect of some technology. So, for example, the swipe, which was initially designed so that you could search and highlight what you wanted, and it's been adopted as something to keep us hooked, and the consequences of that. So, so we really need our data scientists and AI experts of the future to include this in their design so that they're able to think about the consequences, think about the society of the future, to understand the tools that are available, the governance, but also to have those skills to challenge and understand the design. So we've put together a module at Leeds Beckett which does all of this.
Okay.
And alongside that, we've worked with our EDI team there so that our students also understand their own personal bias and the consequences of that. They understand that inclusive teams do better, and they understand how to be an ally in the workforce and start practicing that whilst they're there at university.
Okay, so you built an actual tool, is that correct?
No, not an actual tool, a module to empower students to use the tools that are available, to understand what's available and what can be used and the conversations they can have and be able to do that.
And is the module used in real life right
Yes, we've been running it for a few years. The students love it.
Oh, that's good.
Because from a teaching and learning perspective, what you want is for young people who've chosen to study these amazing subjects to come and to immediately get in there and start thinking. that's what we want with them to be thinking. So it's really easy to start thinking about the ethics of AI.
It almost sounds too easy. There must have been hurdles or difficulties during your research, right?
There's hurdles, of course. I mean, I think in the research, actually getting proper evaluation was quite difficult. We found that I think people confuse what we're trying to do, building inclusive and non-biased design. They confused it with ethics and morals.
Okay.
And whilst that's relevant, actually that's only a small part of it. So in the evaluation, we found that people were sort of trying to prove that they were moral. And that wasn't what we were looking for. We were looking to see, can you think critically about how this design could be used elsewhere for good and for bad?
Yeah. Do you feel good about yourself?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, makes sense. I'm just going to ask you a few rapid-fire questions, if that's okay. AI, hype or reality?
Oh, well, both, obviously. Absolutely both.
Which industry will be most transformed in, say, the upcoming 5 years or so by AI?
I don't know, but do you know what? The industry I want to be most transformed is I want community, mental health. I think the young people are overwhelmed by perhaps being over-informed on the modern problems of now. So we should be able to use AI to help people to connect, but also to help with those huge problems that we do have
Instead of
at
keeping
the
them
moment.
longer on the screen.
Yes.
Okay. Can machines truly be creative?
I think they can, but they need to be taught to be creative.
Which AI breakthrough has had the biggest impact on your field?
The AI breakthrough that literally we came in one day and went, this is a disruptor, was ChatGPT, or for students using it with their work. But again, what we've done is we've totally embraced that. So I've run workshops with my students where we sit down and we play around and we co-learn on the AI so that they can see where they can't trust it. And I understand where they're concerned about the AI. So they are concerned that they are cheating and they're going to get caught out by that.
Once again, it's the moral side.
Yes. When they go for an interview, somebody's going to be sort of, well, why can't you do this? And so using it appropriately and, again, being able to sort of build it for the future.
Makes sense. Is there a book or a resource you'd recommend to people who are interested in AI?
No, not one, but there are a few.
Do you have a few?
I'm not sure I have them all off the top of my head, but they're all in my papers. So, I mean, I definitely think that starting with things like Technology is Not Neutral by Stephanie Hare, Invisible Women by Criado Perez. There's a compilation of papers by Marie Hicks that is really good, and there are some lovely books on data ethics. David Martins has one of those that I really enjoy.
Thank you so much.
I have a reading list.
Okay. Can people find that reading list somewhere?
Well, most of them will be included in my papers, and this isn't the only paper.
Check the paper out.
Most of my papers are in this area, but my paper is really useful for practitioners or industry wanting to create these conversations, because there's plenty of material for workshops in this area, which obviously education and universities would appreciate.
What's one question you wish people asked more about AI?
Well, possibly can we trust AI? But I think that one of the questions that I would like to be asked more, and I am asked a lot, is really how we can get women into technology. And I think that actually the AI is going a long way towards that, because it brings in the sociology, the philosophy, this kind of thinking, and we are seeing more women coming into it now. So perhaps this is the breakthrough we need.
A bit more.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's the conference been so far?
Conference has been absolutely great. And, I sometimes feel when I'm talking about these things that I'm being a little bit sort of preachy and judgy, but the reality is that I've met so many people here who are also talking about this in their papers, and are also really keen to know and understand more. So
you found some like-minded people.
Without any need at all, lots of like-minded people. So that's really good to see how well that's been included. And also it's good to see so many younger PhD students who are thinking about this as well. So again, that's positive. The conference highlight perhaps was the cruise. That was really enjoyable. Really enjoyable to just sort of sit with colleagues and chat about all these things that we love to chat about, and watch Amsterdam go by on a beautiful evening.
Thank you so much for your time, and please enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you.
Welcome to Intellisys 2024, live from Amsterdam. I'm here with Ethan Pereira. Can you tell me a bit about yourself and mostly about your research so far?
Yeah, so the research was done through Kettering University as part of my undergrad thesis. And so what we did was developed a new kind of three-dimensional A-star search heuristic to generate collision-free walking gaits for bipedal robots and also just regular walking robots, any legs you want.
Why is that important?
Yeah, so it's common to solve a control problem using neural networks or control theory. And so the reason to develop a collision-free walking gait would be, if you have expensive equipment or maybe to save time in training for your neural networks, you can use this to, on the fly, generate a walking, like a footstep. And so if there's an object or an obstacle in the way, it won't accidentally hit it or trip over it, saving you possibly time and money.
Okay, and did you manage to do that?
We did. Due to the timeline, I wasn't able to fully implement steps or obstacles into the simulation. However, we did test the new A-star algorithm, and it works really quite well for stepping over obstacles and avoiding and generating good footpaths.
So you basically needed a bit more time to fully integrate anything. Any other big challenges you faced?
Yeah, I'd say the whole project was a pretty big challenge, but it was a lot of fun to learn so much. And when I first started it, I think I bit off more than I could chew, and so we narrowed down the focus a lot. And I learned so much through the process.
Oh, that sounds good. And do you think your research will make it into any real-world applications?
I really hope so. I think it'd be really cool to see it being used to generate pre-training data for your neural networks. A lot of times it's common to use reinforcement learning when you're training walking robotics.
It costs all that energy and time and money and stuff you don't want.
Yeah, and I haven't found too many sources for pre-training data for walking robotics. And so it'd be cool to, take your robot, adapt what we've developed to fit your control scheme, have it navigate through a complicated environment, whether it's steps or obstacles or maybe different terrain, frictions, and then you can take a bunch of data from that, whether that's the footpaths you generated or the force inputs at the feet, whatever it might be, and then you can use that to hopefully help train your neural networks.
Makes sense. Well, curious about when we'll see it live.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a few rapid questions, if that's okay.
Okay.
AI, hype or reality?
Probably a little bit of both. I think it's hyped quite a bit, but it is getting extremely good.
Which industry will be most transformed by AI?
I don't know if there's an industry that won't get transformed by AI. There's so many applications.
Okay, so just daily life in general.
Yeah.
Okay. Can machines truly be creative?
That's a good question. Since they're all kind of trained off of human creativity, I would say to an extent.
Which AI breakthrough has had the most impact on your work?
For me personally, probably ChatGPT, just as a resource to help me through the creative process and help me learn and understand some complicated topics.
Is there a book or resource you'd recommend for anybody interested in AI?
Yeah, so there's a textbook simply titled Reinforcement Learning, an introduction, and it's by Robert Sutton, I believe, and a few others.
And that's a good read.
Yeah, I found it a real page turner. So.
Oh wow, page turner, that's even better. What is one question you would wish people to ask around AI?
I think a lot of people are afraid of AI, and they're worried it's going to take over the world. It doesn't have to take over.
Okay.
You know, if we don't.
So we need to question how do we not let it take over the world? Is that it?
Yeah, perhaps, or just have it draw a line, right? Like we don't let it become part of politics. You know, like let people stay in politics and just don't let the AI answer questions like that.
No robot governors and all that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Makes sense to me. Okay, and finally, how's the conference been for you so far?
It's been a lot of fun. You know, we're halfway through the first day. My presentation's later today at about 4 o'clock, so I'm really looking forward to it. Bit nervous, but it's been fun so far.
Ethan, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Good luck with your presentation.
Thank you.
We're here at the Intellisys 2024, and I'm interviewing one of the most experienced researchers here at the conference. With me is Dr. Thomas Hellman. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's very nice being here.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it so far.
Good to hear. And I've mentioned you're one of the most experienced people here. Can you tell me a bit about your academic journey? Just a little bit.
I have no academic journey.
Oh.
That is, I started naturally making a doctorate in mathematics with mathematical logic. Went into the US at the University of New York, Delaware. But then I detected that my capabilities as a teacher are not that good. Therefore, I decided to do something else and went into software development and created the first intelligent system for doing quality, color quality management, actually. Yeah, that was interesting because we were able to do a prototype within 5 days, 1 week, that persuaded one of the biggest automakers here in, not here, but next to here in Germany, in Ingolstadt, that he would have to impose our solution to all his suppliers.
Wow. What year was this, roughly?
Roughly what year? 82, 83?
Oh. I was born. Wow.
The reason was why we were so fast producing software, because we used an artificial intelligence approach to generate our programs.
That's
very
amazing.
simple. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna skip ahead a couple of years. Can you tell me about your paper, your research paper?
Okay. Currently, I'm working on using the graph model of combinatory logic, which is also interesting because combinatory logic has been defined 6 years ago or more, and actually today is not well known. I have problems finding any papers referring to combinatory logic, but it is a useful model because it uses algebraic representation of neural networks.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds very attractive at the moment, right?
That should be very attractive, and I have now also used an approach to explain how knowledge actually grows.
Okay.
And for knowing that you need to measure knowledge, and measuring actually is my specialty, which I did for more than 50 years. I'm measuring software, measuring anything, including knowledge. And so I have now proposed a method to measure software that I will relate about tomorrow.
Okay, well, that makes sense. But what will it be used for in the real world? Are there any applications?
Yes. The point is that current AI systems are uncontrollable in respect of their reliability. Yeah. So sometimes they hallucinate, sometimes they decrease in accuracy, and things like this. And what I then propose is just a simple method of implementing controlling combinators that avoid it. For this, you must know what you want to avoid and what it means to avoid it. And I think today, these modeling techniques that were developed long ago are still very useful for today's high technology world.
Yeah. What are some of the challenges you face while doing this research?
Well, the challenge is I'm not an academic, as I said at the beginning, and that is I have no access to any resources, and so basically, I'm writing for my own, and as a retiree, I haven't any.
You
I
need
had
a
not
bit more
to
of
live-
support. Yeah.
I have not to live from this, and so I hope that I can find somebody who's interested in taking that over and look at what can be useful.
Well, you have some reach, so who knows? Somebody might reach out to you.
That's it. Yes.
Let's
Would be
find out.
welcome.
Excellent. I'm going to do some rapid fire questions, like a quick and brief answer if possible. AI, hype or reality?
No reality, simply because we have now this parallel processing available with the graphic networks, with graphic processors. Well,
Which industry will be most transformed by AI in the upcoming 5 years or so?
all industries. So it's definitely a very, very difficult question to predict that, but my belief is, for the time being, it will mostly affect manufacturing. Manufacturing is where it brings immediately the most, and also they have experience with using AI.
Can machines truly be creative?
No.
Which AI breakthrough has had the most impact on your work?
The existence of intelligent translators like DeepL, namely, since before that, when I wrote a paper, the normal reaction of the reviewers was, well, could you please improve your English by help of a native English speaker?
Okay.
No, it's no problem. I just go ad for DeepL. Well, sorry for that, but indeed, I just take DeepL, translate it into German, and then look if it sounds still the same in German as I wanted to have in English, and then comes back in English, and then they say, "Oh, what a wonderful English!"
That's amazing. Well, I was going to ask a book or a resource you'd recommend for people interested in AI. That you already gave us one resource. Is there anything else?
I think it is very interesting to read old works from people who worked probably 100 years ago, or 60 years ago, or 40 years ago, and they had interesting ideas that were not realizable because of the lack of computing power. And today we have it. Just remember the Doctor and Eliza.
Okay, well, what's one question you wish people would ask more about AI?
What is knowledge?
Okay, how's the conference been so far? We had a couple of keynotes, we had some presentations.
Oh, wonderful. It was wonderful. Yes, that's a beautiful place also to be here. The only thing that didn't work here was the metro. To come here, you had to take a taxi.
We can blame Amsterdam for that. Dr. Thomas, thank you so much for your time, and please enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed it as well.
We're at IntelliSys 2024 and with Zizek Guven. Zizek, welcome.
Thank you.
Can you tell me a bit about yourself, your academic background?
Yes, so I came here to the Netherlands to do my PhD. Before, for my undergraduate studies or for my master's, I was in Turkey in Koç University. I did my PhD in TU Eindhoven, mathematics, a combination of algebraic combinatorics, basically, and graph theory. Yes, and then I had a break to academia like 4 years. I worked in the consultancy and banking environments in that time frame, yes.
Yeah.
So I exposed myself to finance and trade data. And then I came back to academia around 2016 to do a postdoc into Eindhoven again, but then more in the computer science department. And then I landed on Tilburg in 2018, basically, and from then on I was in Tilburg. I'm an assistant professor in the cognitive science and artificial intelligence department at the moment.
Okay, and now one of the researchers here, because you're presenting a paper, can you tell me a bit about that?
Yes, so the paper is called Model Selection Using Graph Neural Networks. So we approach the AutoML problem. How can we choose the best model to solve a machine learning problem, basically?
Yeah.
So what sits in the this is a problem where usually treated with filtering meta features of the problem of the data set. And we came up with an alternative approach by representing the data, the decision space, as a graph. And then we could apply a graph neural network on it. And the advantage of that is maybe coming up with the meta features may take some computational resources. And in the aggregation process, some of the crucial information is lost. So when we treat it as a graph, then we have an alternative way of representing the most essential part.
So it's quicker and it saves time and energy, is that correct?
Yes.
That sounds great. Did you have any issues while doing that research? Any problems you faced?
Well, computational resources could be an issue, but we are collaborating. Basically, maybe it's good to mention I did this research with my colleagues Gonzalo Napoles from my department, and Isel Groh from TU Eindhoven, and Yamisledi Iero from University of Talca. So we use computational resources for this particular research that sits in the University of Talca, basically. That was a challenge that we could overcome by working together.
Yeah, that makes sense. And how do you feel this will impact the real world? Is there anything that will stand out?
Well, basically, using in general, AutoML problems, of course, has an impact. If you use extensively the computational resources, that has an impact on the environment, right? Because of the sustainability purposes. So any steps in the direction of making things more efficient has a positive impact in the application of AI and, to the greater good of the people, basically.
I'm all for that. I have some rapid-fire questions. So I'd like brief and to the point answers. AI, hype or reality?
Reality.
Which industry will be most transformed by AI in the next 5 years or so?
Healthcare, education, and security, I would say.
Can machines truly be creative?
Depends on the definition of creative, I would say.
According to your definition of creative?
No.
Okay. Which AI breakthrough has had the most impact on your work?
Deep learning, I would say. Yes, deep learning.
Is there a book or a resource you would recommend to people interested in AI?
I cannot come up with a quick answer to that.
What is a question you would wish people to ask more about AI?
I think people should be more curious about how to use AI to support, for example, diversity, accessibility, inclusivity in the most responsible way. So people are not, maybe there's they have their prior thoughts about how AI could be dangerous. They should be looking at this from a more like from a perspective where they can make AI useful for themselves.
Okay, so more about what can AI help me in a positive way?
Well, for example, we have several projects. In one of those, what we do, we are trying to come up with a tool to use mobile phone pictures to measure malnutrition in children. That's one thing. Another thing that we are trying to do is try to understand how brain networks are related to poverty, to prevent a generational poverty. So there are 2 labs that I'm working with, Zero Hunger Lab and Zero Poverty Lab. Basically, these are more in the direction of AI for good. Another thing that we use AI for social good is, using AI to predict renewable energy resources for renewable energy transition. So there are a lot of things that you can do for AI for people.
Should use
Exactly. So my research is more in people-centric network science. Yeah.
I get that. How's the conference been so far?
Conference was great. I like it, and it's practical because I work in the Netherlands.
That always helps. Are there any highlights or standout moments so far?
What I liked, 2 of the keynote speakers yesterday, basically, they are women. They are really the best in their domain, let's say, one of the best, let's say, in the community. So I'm happy that there is better representation of women in science in such positions. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you.
We're here at Intellisys 2024. I'm talking with Dr. Jaap Klotter. Jaap, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Can you tell me a bit about yourself, about your background?
Well, I'm a full professor located at the Police Academy, and I've got a joint research group together with the Saxion University for Applied Sciences. We are focusing on the development of technologies to improve criminal investigations.
Okay, and that leads you to being here and presenting a research paper.
Yeah, our first one in our new research line.
Okay, tell me more.
Well, forensic research of criminal investigation in general is very time-consuming. And if you do that work very thoroughly, you need a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of time. And to improve criminal investigations, we want to search how could we use robotic systems together with sensor data to improve the forensic research on the crime scene, because a robotic system doesn't contaminate the crime scene.
Yeah.
And when you do it with robotics instead of human beings, it could be a little bit faster.
Ah.
And that we decided to do. We used a robotic system, an existing platform, and we adapt on that platform camera systems. And we tried to look and to compare the 3D reconstruction normally, and that's the first steps you have to do on a crime scene.
Yeah.
To photograph the original crime
like
scene.
CSI, the original.
And that activities could take place in 5-6 hours, but if it is a difficult crime scene, it could take place for more than 2 weeks.
Really?
And during that time, the other researchers, the criminal investigators, have to wait to enter the crime scene. So there's a spill of money, a spill of time, and we said, well, could we use the robotic platform, and we put the platform on the crime scene and compare it with the existing one, and we compare it with 3D reconstruction. It's one of the first steps you have to do on a crime scene.
And can you?
Yes, we can.
Oh, that's good.
And this, in the same time, we compare it with the existing activities. Let's say it was 4 hours, and we can do it in less than 10 minutes.
That's
so
good.
That's really, and also the improvement of the details of the photos is really interesting.
Okay. So this will be used now, I mean? This is...
No.
Oh,
now we are searching for the technical possibilities.
Okay.
And if you want to use it in operational practice, of course, you have to search out what is about the legislations issue, the ethical issues, etc., the operational work. But on that last part, it's interesting to say that we also make a training. So if it is realized and we can use it in practice, we can also offer the police officer a training how to use the robotic system on a crime scene.
And how long do you think it will take before you can actually use this?
With this thing?
Yeah.
I think in 2 years.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, really. They are working very, very fast. Only the technical part.
Sure, but still.
The legislation part, I cannot make any promise about that.
Fair enough. I won't hold you to that. Okay, and is there any further research you would like to do?
On this, well, we want to put, and that's interesting in this conference, we are inspired by one of the other speakers on one of the work sessions, to put not only a normal camera on the platform, but also a hyperspectral camera or a near-infrared camera. And perhaps we could detect pieces of evidence we cannot see by our own eyes, but that those camera techniques, probably we can detect it.
So even improve it.
Perhaps.
Sounds good.
That's nice for this kind of conference. You are collecting new research ideas.
A little bit of inspiration.
Yes.
Sounds good. I have a few rapid-fire questions for you.
Okay.
AI, hype or reality?
I think it will be reality.
Okay. Which industry will be most transformed by AI in the next 5 years or so?
Which industry? I hope criminal investigations.
You're working hard on that. Can machines truly be creative?
Truly, I think.
Yep. Which AI breakthrough has had the most impact on your work?
Reliable AI.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is there a book or a resource you recommend for people who are interested in AI?
I think they have to read our article first.
Fair enough.
But in this case, when you look for this kind of techniques in the operational use, it's so innovative. You can hardly find it. So you have to search for articles first, and perhaps in future there will be a nice...
Yeah, maybe you will write it.
We hope.
Okay. Is there a question you feel people should ask more about AI?
Also look for the limitations of it.
Okay.
I think
not just the possibilities.
Yeah, not only the possibilities. There are nice possibilities. There are also limitations. We have to think about it.
Okay. And finally, how's the conference been so far?
Yeah, I like it today. Especially that inspiration session we have had. We come up with nice new ideas and nice new contacts.
Okay.
Thanks for the invitation.
We'll see after. Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We're here at the Intellisys 2024 live from Amsterdam. and I'm here with Nicole Schutter. Nicole, thank you for being here.
Yes, it's a pleasure for me that you invited me for this interview. Thank you very much for that.
Nicole, can you tell me a bit about yourself and mostly about your academic research so far?
Yes, sure. My academic journey started, to be honest, early in school at the 80s when my maths teacher was an enthusiast about computer science, which inspired me as well.
Okay.
And then I studied computer science. I expanded to project management. I have a master's degree in computer science and in project management from the George Washington University. I have a master's degree from the Fernuniversität in Hagen, where I'm just working for. Yes, and now I'm here. I'm working as a research associate for the Fernuniversität in Hagen, and we are investigating how AI could make the technology roundabout learning a little bit better, especially in e-learning, which is, as you can imagine, because Fernuniversität means distance university,
Okay, yeah.
which is a specific topic there, of course, you can imagine.
Okay. And you wrote a paper about it as well?
Yes, we have written a paper. I wrote it together with Dr. Dirk Feil. And my paper is thinking about how to enhance the personalization of these intelligent learning assistants. We investigated and found out that the visual representation of the intelligent learning assistants makes or has a huge impact on motivation on learning and sometimes also on learning outcomes. And it depends a little bit on sympathy or having no sympathy, and therefore we try to understand and find out what are the design features that are loved by students, which are not so nice for students. And yes, and we find out a very, I think, novel, I'm sure it's novel.
Okay, well, tell me, what do students love?
Yes, they love a lot of things. A lot of things were investigated earlier, like the age of the intelligent learning assistant. The gender is important, an important topic. But this is not always working well. And therefore, we investigated a novel, exploratory and participatory approach to find out what are the design features the students love, depending on their characteristics. And yes, I will be happy to do so. We used generative AI to produce, based on some short descriptions, to produce some pictures of intelligent learning assistants. We presented them, and then we could find out that some of the pictures are not so well accepted because, especially when the generative AI is producing women, unfortunately, the body shape is a bit unrealistic.
Okay.
Very much
So
unrealistic
students like
sometimes.
realistic women. Who would have thought that?
Yes, especially the female students,
Oh,
we have to say.
that I would expect.
Yeah, really. And of course, you have to take into consideration, I just had a short discussion with another participant here on the conference, that you should concentrate on learning instead of taking a look at the intelligent learning assistant all the time.
Well, they are students. You can guide them a little bit, but they'll do whatever they want, right?
Yeah, but we also would like to avoid reinforcing stereotypes. We care about the biases that are, unfortunately, within the artificial intelligence, and this is something that is a bit challenging because, on the one hand, we are using the hallucination of the generative AI so that we can experiment a little bit, produce pictures and designs for intelligent learning assistants that might be nice, and then we can see, oh, what are the design features that are not so nice, that are not so well accepted, and therefore we have the possibility with our method to detect what are conscious and unconscious likes and dislikes in regard of the design features of those intelligent learning assistants.
Okay, and can you give us like the top 2 or 3 design features you should embrace or features you should have?
Unfortunately, we are in the beginning of the study. We are exploring what are the design features that are interesting for students. So we did some experiments which are very broad. Oops, so we couldn't identify the ones that are the top ones. So we need more data to collect that. Yes, and therefore we are also preparing a research grant proposal to continue with the next steps, to have an automated process to collect all the data so that we further on can use machine learning to find connections between the design features and the student characteristics, and therefore be able to more and more precisely predict what a specific student with a specific characteristic, personality, would like to have as an intelligent learning assistant. That's the goal. And therefore, when we have a lot of data, and a good advantage of the Fernuniversität is that we have a very, very diverse student landscape. They are old, they are young, they are right out of the school, they are working since years. We have the possibility to adopt quite well when we have the data, when we know what they would like to have.
Immediate application.
Yes.
If you can continue the research.
Yes, exactly. And so with this hopefully huge amount of data, we have the possibility to support a very diverse landscape of students with specific learning needs, with maybe disabilities, and be very, very personalized. The more data we have, the more personalized we can be.
Sounds good.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you a few rapid-fire questions, so like brief, short, to-the-point answers.
Okay.
AI, hype or reality?
Actually, I would say hype, but it will become reality. Okay. It's coming to stay. It has been come to stay.
Coming up. Which industry will be most transformed by AI in the next, say, 5 to 10 years?
Writing. I think about the writing industry, authoring. This is something that will be changing a lot.
Can machines truly be creative?
I said that we are using this creativity, but at the end, it is learned behavior and based on the past.
Okay. You call it hallucination as well?
Yes, exactly. So I heard a lot of presentations. They try to reduce hallucinations. We are using this because right now we are in the exploratory phase. Later on, we would like to be more precise, of course.
Okay. Which AI breakthrough has had the most impact on your work?
The generative AI building pictures, because this we are using now. We started our research thinking about artists supporting us, but now we have the Dolly, Stable Diffusion and such things. Makes it much easier.
Is there a book or a resource you'd recommend people?
Oh yes, there is a very huge and informative and good written book from Russell and Norvig, Artificial Intelligence, which gives a very, very good and broad overview about artificial intelligence. I can really recommend that.
And what's one question people should ask more about AI?
The biases. And I'm very happy to see this on the conference as well, especially the ones that are affecting women.
Okay. And that takes us to the last question. How's the conference been so far?
Great. I see they are working on the biases. I have established some contact, so I'm very happy to be here. Yes.
Is there a specific part you like about the conference?
The large language model. This is something that I've already heard. I'm very curious about the rest of the conference, but this is something that makes me very happy.
Okay. Have you met interesting people so far?
Yes, of course. Mm-hmm. I have met a lot of women and a few men interested in working on the biases regarding women.
Yeah.
And I hope I will continue meeting them, exchanging with them. And I also met one guy, yes, I remember. It was one of the very first ones who is working quite similar on similar thing like me, but instead of concentrating on visuals, he's concentrating on interaction. But our method seems to be very similar. I think there will be possible connections. Yes.
That's awesome. Nicole, good luck with that. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you very much for the interview.
Welcome to the Intellisys 2024. I'm here with Massimo Orazia Spata. Welcome.
Thank you.
First off, can you walk us a bit through your academic journey?
Yeah. I was graduated in 1998 in computer science, and I received my PhD degree in computer science from mathematics and computer science department in 2008. Since January 2022, I am a research fellow in computer science at the University of Catania, mathematics and computer science department. We're developing know-how and skills in deep learning algorithms, audio and image processing. I collaborate with the university and the research institution involved in different research projects, and I am author of different patents, international patents, and publication for journals and international conference concerning the above fields.
Can you tell us a bit about your latest paper?
Yeah. The story behind my paper on keystroke acoustic attack starts about 1 year ago, with some internet news and the paper with the title Practical Deep Learning Based Acoustic Attack Side Channel on Keyboards of Professor Harrison Torreini et al. From Durham University of London. And they proposed the same attack with an accuracy of 95% and 93% over the Zoom remote tool, video conference tool. So I decided to write an email to authors to require the same dataset used for their experiments, and Dr. Harrison replied to my email the day after and provided us the link to download the dataset, and good luck.
So I saw your talk, and basically you can, by listening to the keyboard sounds, you can filter out somebody else's password, right?
Yeah.
That's what the research is trying to find.
Okay.
Yeah. What did your research find?
In order to improve experimental performance in terms of accuracy of the prior art, we decided to adopt a specific deep learning architecture named the Temporal Convolutional Network Model in order to capture the temporal patterns of audio files recorded, because the audio signals has a specific pattern, and which is strong correlated to a temporal function.
Okay.
So this temporal convolutional network model allows us to increase the performance of the previous prior art. And the model's ability to accurately predict the keystroke classes on unseen data, as evident from the exhaustive tests presented in the paper, underscore its robustness and potential practical application. We are working to addressing in the next works. Probably we will publish this new experimental result with a new paper.
And what are the practical applications? Will it help?
This work highlighted how a temporal convolutional network are promising approach for countering keystroke acoustic vulnerabilities, and representing substantial potential for safeguarding sensitive information from emerging threats, as the cybersecurity attacks landscape continues to evolve, leaning on novel AI-based approaches. A practical application could be create an app, a mobile application, to test this pre-trained temporal convolutional network model in a wild condition. We are trying to do it. We created a simple app with a recorder for audio. The audio recorded is sent to a cloud server. In the cloud server there is the Python script with the pre-trained model. The recorded audio is splitted and segmented in every keystroke audio signal, and then after this the pre-trained model do the prediction and give you the password or the string
And now you're
type.
making hacking easier by predicting the password.
This is a big vulnerabilities.
Yeah. How's the conference been so far?
I really appreciated the location of this conference. Congratulations, it is the perfect organization. And the interesting presentation and talks of our researcher colleague. One possible standout moment for me could be this precious opportunity of this interview. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, I do have a few rapid-fire questions. We didn't prepare those, so let's see if it works. Is that okay? You can give brief, short, yes and no answers, just real quick.
Okay.
AI, is it hype or reality?
Reality.
Reality. Which industry will be most transformed by AI in the next 5 years?
Probably all the fields and the industry fields will be impacted by AI.
Okay. Can machines truly be creative?
I don't know.
Fair enough. Is there a book or a resource you would recommend people who are interested in AI?
Yeah, probably Machine Sapiens, the book of Professor Nello Cristianini. It is in Italian professor, but he works in Great Britain.
So it is available in English?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, for your interview, and your presentation, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, I'm here with Professor Michael Weeks from the Georgia State University. Professor, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
I have a question for you. What are you currently working on?
Currently, I'm working on artificial intelligence with gaming as the area that I'm specifically interested in working in. And one of the things that means is that we may have agents, that is characters within the game, that may need to act on their own. And we want them to be good, at least entertaining. So if they're too easy, say as an opponent, that's a problem. If they're too good as an opponent, that's also a problem. And sometimes we just want them to be there and sort of act natural as well.
Got it. And Professor, what inspired you to choose this topic for your research?
I have always loved games. And I've been playing games since I was this high. I'll probably keep playing games until I'm old.
Which one is your favorite?
My favorite game? I play a lot of Skyrim right now, yeah. Although I really enjoyed the Zelda series, like Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild before that, and whatever they come up with next, I guarantee you I will be first in line to buy.
Awesome. I can see that you are really passionate about gaming and the games. Can you explain the main idea of your research paper in simple terms?
So, a lot of people use neural networks for a lot of different things, and there's a question of how do you train the neural network to do what it needs to do. There's a sort of a default method that everyone wants to use called backpropagation. The problem, though, is that it doesn't always work under every domain, and I think games are a great example of that. Because if maybe you make a new game, and you want to have an agent that works within that game world, it may be that if the agent goes this way, it's going to end up dying, and then that's it for the agent. Maybe if they go this way, they also end up dying. But perhaps it's a little more interesting. Maybe they're in the game world longer if they go this way. Well, you're not going to be able to know this necessarily, even as the game designer. So the agent may need to be able to figure this out themselves. How do they do that? Well, they may be able to play the game again and again and again and again, but you don't have a way of telling them, well, turning to the left, that's a problem, you shouldn't do that. It needs to be able to figure that out without any data from before.
Mm-hmm. And what was the most interesting finding of your research work?
One of the things that really surprised me is that we populate the weights for the neural network with random data. We just give it a bunch of, almost like we're rolling the dice, if you will. Mm-hmm. One of the sets of weights actually solved the problem that I was looking at initially. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty simple problem, but still I didn't expect that just a random solution would work. So that was particularly surprising to me. So I did another test, something a little more complicated, and eventually it was able to learn in the two different ways that I asked it to do the learning.
Right. And what challenges did you face while conducting your research work?
One of the problems is, how do you represent a number in a computer? And I know that sounds like a pretty easy thing to answer, but do you use a floating point value that is a number that has a fractional part? And if so, do you use, say, a 32-bit value or a 64-bit value or a 128-bit value? Where do you draw the line? Then I found that Google had actually done some work on something called a bfloat 16, and that answered the question for me. I think I used this analogy before. It was almost like I was hacking my way through a jungle and then suddenly came upon a paved road.
I really like that analogy. And what about some real-world applications of your research work?
Anytime that you need to train a neural network and you don't have data from before that you can tell it this is right and this is wrong, I think there's an application there for what I used called a neural evolution. And that's where you can let the agent, say, try and fail on its own, and then go back and make some changes and let it try again.
Mm-hmm. Let's look into the future. What are some next steps for your research work?
For my research work, I'd like to apply this to more larger problems and see where that goes. I did get a question or two from the audience, and one person was asking about, well, what if you change the architecture for the neural network? How would that impact things? And that would be an interesting thing to look at as well.
And what about the conference itself? How was your experience so far?
Well, this is a fantastic location. I've been really happy here at the conference. It's well run. It seems that the organizers have done a really good job of trying to get people to talk to one another. I think as academics, we tend to want to just stand by ourselves and not talk to anybody, but we've been able to break the ice and talk to each other and make some friends along the way.
Professor, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm here with Dr. Muhammad Ali Bingal from the Montfort University. Doctor, welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Doctor, what are you currently working on?
Yeah, I'm working on cryptographic protocols, designing secure and efficient cryptographic protocols, especially for digital wallets. The interest on the cryptocurrencies are increasing every day, and so the individuals and organizations, they are keeping their digital assets on digital wallets. As of today, so there are around 100,000 digital wallet users. So these are not only individuals, also companies and organizations. So our research is to secure the digital wallets, and make this, more efficient and alive, for today's world.
What inspired you to choose this topic for your research?
Yeah, as I said, there are lots of users, digital, currencies users, cryptocurrencies, and also there are attacks, on those systems. So, for example, last year there was an attack on digital wallets. So the attackers, just stolen 5,000 ETH, Ethereum coin, just in 48 hours. It's equivalent to 15 billion US dollars as today's,
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. So, we need to keep these systems, secure. And my research is, based on this, creating and designing cryptographic protocols to make those, systems secure and efficient.
Can you explain the main idea of your research in simple terms?
Yeah, sure. So the security of the digital wallets is based on a single key, what we called private key. So when you need to send the money, as a transaction from your wallet to, another, account, so you need to sign it using your private key. So as this security is just, rely on a single key, so there is, single point of failure problems. So when you lost the key, then your money, goes. So attackers can send the money, within a short amount of time. So what we do, we split the key into parts, and so that you can make it partial signatures, okay, using threshold cryptography, so that even if a partial part of the signature or the private key is lost or stolen by the attackers, so the security is still satisfied. So you don't lose your whole money. And this is also applicable to very best fits on the organizational and companies works, because they don't want to keep the key in a single place, so that we split the key. So for example, they can split the key into 10 parts and then distribute to 10 participants. Right. If 3 of them comes together, let's say, they can make the signature, okay? Even if one of them or 2 of them are stolen, then there is no problem issues with the security. So this is the main idea.
I see. And what was the most interesting finding of your research work?
Yeah, so our actual research is a bit different than the conventional threshold signatures and threshold cryptography, because our research also enables hierarchical systems. So, for example, in real-life organizations, there is not only one layer. Okay, so there are for example, staff and also the managers. So our hierarchical threshold crypto system enables, having those hierarchical organizations. So, for example, you distribute the key among the low-level, staff, and also you give a part to the manager. This level could be, like a triangle or reverse triangle, right. In any type of structure. So that's why we call our protocol as FlexI, which is flexible hierarchical threshold signature.
Right. And what challenges did you face while conducting your research work?
Yeah, well, actually, in crypto, in cryptography, there's also always a common challenge. So balancing security and cost, efficiency. So there is also always a challenge, and trade-off between cost and security. So what we do actually, our protocol should be efficient and also secure. So this is, the main challenge. So what we do actually, to sign, to aggregate as a signature, to sign, a transaction. So based on our research, it takes like 13 milliseconds, according to our results, and this is the most efficient signature, hierarchical threshold signature, so far in the literature. Yeah.
And you already touched on that, but can you elaborate on some real-world applications of your research?
Yeah, of course. So, as I said, those digital assets, digital cryptocurrencies are being used by individuals and also organizations, and also governments are, they are also having now projects, CBDC projects, central bank digital currency projects, to convert the money, the currency into digital cryptocurrency. So these are quite, getting more interesting and more serious, so we need to keep those wallets in a secure, position. So these wallets are not just, individual, the wallets that end users are using. Mm-hmm. These wallets are also, we call, cold wallet, hot wallet, and warm wallet. So banks and organizations need to keep their reserve money into those wallets. Mm-hmm. Okay, and we need to establish and satisfy all the security requirements not to lose the money. So just imagine, we have crypto money that is stored in the reserves, okay, and we shouldn't lose those monies. And as they are digital money, so they are targeted by the attackers and adversaries in cyber world.
Right.
Yeah.
And looking ahead, what are some next steps for your research work?
Yeah. So actually, there's always a race, between attacks and design. So we are exploring, different probabilities and possibilities for different types of attacks, and also we are trying to make it ready for actual real life, applications. For example, we are now trying to make it, proactive and dynamic, meaning that you can add different users, you can revoke, users from the system, and always there is also, some rooms to improve the security and also the efficiency. So we are exploring those, challenges. Yeah.
Doctor, how was your experience with the conference so far?
Oh, conference, it's amazing. So starting from the first, day and from the first minutes, it was very engaging, and all the speakers, they are really, good in their areas, and we had really good connections and networks, and it's really amazing, Thank you very much for having this type of conference, which is really, perfect. Yeah.
Doctor, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Hello, I'm here with Carla Muñoz Esquivel from the ATU University. Hello.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for inviting me. Yeah.
I'm very happy that you joined us today. Carla, tell me about your academic journey. What are you currently working on?
Well, currently I'm assistant lecturer in computing, but also I am principal investigator in the Wizard Lab in ATU. In Ireland, and what I do is I teach artificial intelligence, data analytics, visualizations, human-computer interaction, several topics in computing, but I also lead Interreg Northern Periphery Arctic projects. So, for example, currently I'm doing a preparatory project that calls Remoted, that is about finding the way of teaching nurses in the best way possible, so it's cost effective. And also there is other project that we just get 1.4 million funding that is called Tech to Heal, and this project is about finding what is well-being for employees. and employers, and kind of trying to, with wearables and other techniques like questionnaires and surveys and other information, knowing how is the mental and physical well-being of people, and then if they should be changed the conditions of work and the policies and all these situations.
What type of research are you currently conducting?
So my research is more connected health. You can say that most of my projects are about that, but I usually do artificial intelligence with different types of data, but mostly sensors and also contextual information and trying to make an understanding and modeling of data. Yeah.
And in simple terms, can you explain the main idea of your research?
Yes. A small idea is we want to create accessible healthcare. And it's because systems are overloaded, and because also we want people more time working in better conditions, and also we want patients happy and more personalized care. So then we are trying to make sense of data in order to make it possible and to create policies as well that make these people to work in a different context where everything is better for them.
What was the most interesting finding of your research?
Oh, you can say that, well, when working with sensors, I think that the most interesting is that every people is different, and even physiological conditions of people like weight and height and different things give you different measurements. So one of them is finding the baseline for all this is very difficult. And then you have also as well that, all these conditions change the situation, but also that if you have very high technology and has to be usable for the context, because for example we have sensors that were working well, but maybe they take too much time to put in patients, and then they are not effective for consultations of 15 minutes, or for example we have that they are not accurate enough. So then we cannot use them even we want to. And the thing is that maybe companies charge a lot of money for using these technologies, but they are still not there.
I see. What are some real-world applications of your research?
Yeah, well, in fact, the projects, the European projects that I am involved in, the focus is not research. The focus is make lives of people better. So it's about the social aspect of it, and it's how technology can enhance their lives. So it's, for example, how technologies can be put into models of delivery of service of healthcare and enhance this experience for both of them. Patients and people that are consultants and GPs. And how can this experience be better for both parts?
And looking ahead, what are the next steps for your research work?
The next steps first is practically start the project, because we kind of run a project that was kind of the feasibility, but then now is in the next 3 years we're going to practically run the project and finally see apply this technology in a small case studies and see if what we expect is looking. If we have measurements that show that technology in these environments are bringing value to the people's lives. So that is kind of what is our next steps.
Talking about the conference, how was your experience so far?
So far it has been a nice experience, because I have been able to network with other people, and also by the presentations I have been able to find who are the research, you can say what research are out there that can be in a match with mine. So I'm able to maybe contact a person and then see what are probably future licenses of collaboration, or at least you are able to say, okay, I'm working on this, maybe we can find a common ground to do something together. So I think that is what has helped me to find out, because even you have the proceedings and everything, it's nicer to listen from the people. That's when you have really the idea.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hello, I'm here with the Dr. Jia Lu from the University of West Florida. Jia, welcome.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I would like to know a little bit more about your academic journey. So can you tell me what inspired you to choose this topic for your research?
So basically, my research area is to apply the mathematics method into the large data set, especially the large linear system, such as the machine learning area, data science area, and the network science.
Can you explain the main idea of your research work?
So for this conference, generally, we are trying to use the optimization to optimize the method we propose to find out the communities for different networks. For example, each network, the Facebook, you may have every day, they can have different subgroups. And each subgroup, we call them a community. We're trying to identify the different numbers of the communities a network may have, or which elements belongs to the same community.
Why is it important for us to understand the communities?
So for each network, they have the different communities. For example, in biology, you have different animals, and I'm trying to see which animals belongs to the same community. Seems like social media, like the Facebook, YouTube, or on internet, the Google search. We're trying to find out all the elements belongs to the same group, and then we can identify the most important element in each group and see the reactions between different groups. That's important for us to study the property of each network.
What was the most interesting finding in your research?
So we actually were mathematicians, so we're most interested in to optimize the algorithm we proposed for the machine learning algorithms. What we find out actually, we can use some simple optimization tools to get the better result for detecting the communities and get more accurate answers and better detections for the majority of the large networks.
Let's talk about the hard stuff. What challenges did you face while conducting your research?
Yes, so as mathematician, we are actually looking forward to collaborate with people from different areas. As you know, network science is more like interdisciplinary, and also in different networks types, like the biology network, we have the social network, we have the internet network, or the power network. So we are looking forward to collaborate with the different area so we can get more data sample and we can get more applications, and then we can get better algorithm to develop.
Each one of us is a member of many communities.
Yes.
So what are some real-world applications of your research?
Yes, for example, the simple application, everyone uses Google every day.
Sure.
So actually when you search any keyword in Google, and that goes with tons of the result with different ranking, and that's one of the applications of the network science, which is the internet network. The first one, the result shows that is what we call the most important network, and then that's called centrality, which is also one application for the network. For the community applications, it's easier. Also, you can think about the application in medical field. And when you have any medication, you try to see which medication applies to which certain of the people works the best, and what's the symptom associated with that. That also gives us the idea which group can tie together and what groups' reaction with each other. That will tell us a lot of information.
Looking ahead, what are the next steps for your project?
So currently, we're looking forward to expand our algorithm to more of the machine learning algorithm in the similar area. We are working on with the extremely large data, and that's what our goal. We are trying to improve the performance for the machine learning algorithm we worked on over the large data.
Changing the topic, how was your experience with the conference so far?
It's very good. Thank you. It's great.
What do you like the best?
First, organizer. It is the best organizer I have seen because I got email reminders. I have the apps for this conference, which is really convenient. I can see the attendance, inviters, and then this conference also sent the template for the presentation and also make their ads for our social media, like you can post on LinkedIn, and I think that is great. it's great for a lot of the attendants who maybe, especially for graduate students, to promote them themselves. And it's good for me too. I like that. Yes.
Perfect. Is there anything else that you like about this conference?
The conference, actually, the size is nice. It's not too big, like the millions of people here. It's really like the size, and also topics is what I like, because this is a computing conference with the machine learning, data science, and also the other computer vision, and which that's the area I'm interested.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Hello, I'm here with Marina Iantorno from the CCT College Dublin. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Marina, tell me about your academic journey. What inspired you to choose this topic?
Well, I was doing my master's in artificial intelligence research, and I was already doing different projects during my time studying in natural language processing. And then, well, I tried to find a solution to the problem of classifying documents and making sense of big data, because nowadays, you know, the data is flooding, and many organizations don't really know what to do with that. And this is how I just came with the idea and, yeah, continue and went deeper in my research.
So you're working with the big data and making sense out of them. Can you explain the main idea of your research paper in simple terms?
Yes, of course. What I realize is many organizations are still using manual techniques to classify their documents. And this requires a lot of time and money, of course, because you need resources, maybe experts who really understand the documents. And the idea is using AI techniques. The normal classification models or the typical classification models are a bit outdated for this. So then I implemented fuzzy logic. Fuzzy logic is a technique that uses probability methods behind. So then it's very math-based algorithm, let's say, and it's actually very helpful because it deals with uncertainty. And then in some documents, you just have different topics that maybe are not really connected with the keywords, but with the context in general. So then this is what I did, and this was the main idea.
Can you give us some more examples?
Yes. For instance, in the company where I was working at the moment, they have different documents related to identity access management, cybersecurity, access management itself, cloud. And then what I have done was training the model with different topics and then using new documents that weren't labeled to see how they worked. Fuzzy logic just itself was not really working well, so I needed to combine it with other techniques. And one of the best solutions that we found was combining fuzzy logic with the Spacey, because the Spacey has already a big library that is already pre-trained. So then this comes with the idea of creating synthetic data, because, you know, if the library is pre-trained and is working better because it used, you know, a lot of data before, so then synthetic data can help. Nowadays, all the models that you need to train, you will need data for that. And synthetic data at a certain point will overshadow real data. This is what I believe. And after this research, I continued my study in that path. Gartner recently published an article that mentioned that we are just in the beginning of the journey, because all the organizations will need a lot of data to train the models that they don't have at the moment. Even though like there is a lot of big data, they don't really know how to handle this. And then the idea would be to have new data that you can use to classify your documents, to train different models, to test quality, for example, or any model or software development that you are doing. So this is the idea that I have after that.
What was the most interesting finding?
Well, I would say the fact that even though there is a lot of data available, many organizations don't really know how to handle it. So then it's a lot of data that they are not using. And data is actually money, it's a resource. Nowadays, we can say that it's very valuable if you really have data, not just because you have a data point. The data itself, if you just have it as a data point, it doesn't really say anything. But if you use it in a model, or if you use it, for example, to make predictions, to make forecasting, to do classification, is something that companies really can get a benefit after that. Not just saving money, but also maybe, you know, with new ideas on how to use AI, in order to use better the resources, let's say. Because, before we used to know about, CRM, knowing how the companies are getting more loyal clients, for instance, and now it's not just about that. It's about how can we make our company stand out from the rest? And one of the main things is using the data, and sometimes the data is not enough because it's not very well organized.
What challenges did you face while conducting your research?
Well, the main challenge at the very beginning was trying to find an idea that was applicable. Because I remember when I was doing my thesis, my supervisor told me, but you need to come with something original, something creative. And for me, I just was thinking, but I cannot create like an algorithm from scratch. And then I tried to look for different literature reviews that were related to document classifications. And just the most recent ones were talking about, let's use, for example, Llama, Roberta, the large language models. So I needed to actually try to combine whatever is happening now with whatever happened like 10 years ago that people just forgot. For example, fuzzy logic, because this one is not a new method, but it's something that was, released in the past because people are not really into maths. Someone mentioned that in the conference today, that eventually like all the engineers will have to actually go back and look back on the maths because this is like the origin of everything and the main point of all the algorithms. So I would say the main challenge was actually trying to combine something that is new with something that was written or used in the past.
Got it. Can you elaborate on some real-world applications of your research?
Absolutely. At the moment, even I am helping organizations that they don't really know how to deal with the data, if they need to classify it, for example, or if they need to identify personal information, for example, within the data sets to do that. With this model, for example, you can implement if you have a digital library, for instance. So then you can upload new ebooks or new documents, and then the model will actually identify which topic you are referring to and add it in the correct, let's say, label or in the correct shelf if we are talking about digital.
Very cool. So what are the next steps for your project?
Well, I want to keep working with synthetic data. I think this is actually the future because when you think about synthetic data, people can think, about only numbers. So I just change the number, I keep the features, and that's it. But it's much bigger than that. At the moment, I would like to keep working on the text data that you can use. For instance, the data that you get from the chatbots, so then you can create synthetic data out of that. And for this, you need to classify on what are the topics that are coming from a chatbot, for example. And this is the future of my research.
Let's talk about the conference. How was your experience with the conference so far?
Amazing, amazing. I'm super happy. Today, the opening keynote was amazing. The speakers are actually really good. The ideas that we can see are very interesting. And, this is the first time that I attend to an academic conference like this one because I usually attend to conferences where there are a lot of people from the industry, but not from academia. And I, have a blended background because I work in both. I work in academia and I work also for private organizations, private companies. And it was amazing to meet a lot of PhD researchers, professors, with a lot of great ideas, and also the networking and the break. I already contacted I don't know how many people on LinkedIn, so it was amazing.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me.